Hi everyone, I'm Brandon Grable, Texas Civil Rights Attorney, and this is my channel, Clearly Established. Y'all are in for a treat today. I am releasing a deposition of twice fired police chief Joseph Salvaggio. He was originally fired from the San Antonio Police Department, and then he went and took a job at Leon Valley, and then he was fired from there.
There was a cop leaving when I came in.
How did you know he was a cop?
You know, bad haircut, no dress sense, and a slight, air of scumbag entitlement.
So while at the city of Leon Valley, as the police chief, he was involved in years of litigation for violating people's constitutional rights. One of those individuals was my client, Jack Miller. You may know him as Texas Sheepdog. The issue there was that Leon Valley prohibited the carrying of firearms inside of their multi-use building, which violated state law. Unfortunately, Texas law requires that you file a complaint with the municipality first before you make an issue or elevate it. So that's what Jack Miller did. He went and took the complaint, and while taking the complaint, he was armed with a blue gun, not a real gun at all.
Yeah, Mr. Rivera, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
What is this place? What's in here?
City Hall, the police department, city manager. That's about it. Animal
Court.
control.
Court,
Yes, sir.
animal control.
Police
So it's not
department.
just the courthouse, right?
No, it's not just a courthouse.
Okay. Who can I talk to about your 30-6, 30-7 signs?
Well, who do you want to speak to?
They're a violation of Chapter 711 of the Government Code.
Who, I'm sorry?
They're a violation of the Government Code to have those up. You guys can prohibit weapons, but you can't put those signs up.
Okay,
So-
give me 1 minute and I'll be right
Okay,
with you.
sure. Thank you.
Okay, no, give me 1 minute, okay?
You don't have to stop what you're doing. You take care of what you're doing anyway. I got plenty of time. Okay, no problem.
If you get any mail, please don't get it.
The 30-6, 30-7 signs, you guys can prohibit weapons in here. You can tell me, get out, we don't allow guns in here. But the 30-6, 30-7 signs, y'all may not be aware of this, and I'm here to make y'all aware of it. They're illegal. They're a violation of Chapter 711 of the Government Code. The way it works is that you guys can take them down or leave them up. If you leave them up, and I file a complaint with the AG, they'll tell you to take them down. They'll give you 10 days to do that. So can we get them taken down without involving them?
Go ahead and do that, and go and step outside with your gun. Okay?
Can we get them?
It's court day right now, and it's so please step outside.
Sure. But it's a multi-use building,
Okay?
right? So Chapter 711 is
Well, you
Very
go ahead and
clear.
talk to the AG's office, and we'll deal with them, and everything will be fine. The signs are there. If you have a problem with it, notify the AG's office, have them notify us, and we'll deal with it.
Is there any way for you guys to just look at the law and follow the law on your own without having to get the AG to tell you to follow the law?
I just told you what you need to do, sir. Have a
All
good
right,
day.
I need your name and badge number.
Huh?
Before you leave, can I get your name and badge number?
My name's Jim Wells, 548.
So no possibility of just following the law on your own. You got to have the AG babysit you. Okay. So official, willing to talk to me? He wasn't too
what's
nice.
Wrong? What's the problem here?
Okay.
I'm willing to talk to you. There's no problem. You're allowed to practice your First Amendment right until your ears bleed.
I'm not doing that.
Okay.
But what I'm here to do is these signs, the 30-6, 30-7 signs. I asked the officer if I could talk to somebody. She brung him. They didn't want to hear it. So the 30-6, 30-7 signs, I'm just here to let you guys know that Chapter 711 of the Government Code makes it illegal for you guys to put those signs up.
Okay.
The Attorney General has on their website, and I'm just...
Well, I tell you what, I'm not going to stand here and argue the law with you. Have the Attorney General get a hold of us.
But that was my question I had him.
Have him get a hold of us.
Is it possible?
We'll gladly file it.
Is it possible that Leon Valley could just look at the law, just whenever
As far as
somebody
we're
has
in
time?
compliance with the law, and we're entitled to do this because we have to. Unfortunately, we don't have our own courthouse. We have to use this building
I get
as a
that.
courthouse.
I get that.
So-
I get that.
You want a confrontation, bro? I'm not going to give it to you.
I don't want a
Have a good day.
confrontation.
Don't block the entrance.
I don't want a
Do
confrontation.
not block the entrance.
Okay.
Do not obstruct any entrance.
But I don't want a confrontation, sir. I normally don't get a problem from police.
Who's giving you a problem? I'm here to
normally-
take your complaint. We're not the
I normally don't get an issue with police. You've been confrontational ever since I walked in here.
What's your complaint?
Okay.
Tell me your complaint. I'm a busy man.
Okay, if you're too busy, sir, I'll
I'm
deal
not
with
too
someone
busy.
else.
I'm here to handle it. Let's do it. I'm not going to give you a
Let's start off.
confrontation. Promise.
Okay, that's the fourth time you've said that.
That's what you want.
Can you please stop telling me
What's your
that?
complaint?
Can you stop telling me that?
What's your complaint?
Can you do that?
What's your complaint? I got your
Sir.
complaint duly noted. Have a good day.
I need to know who you are, sir.
Lieutenant David Anderson.
I'm not turning in that into you, so you
Lieutenant
can sit.
David Anderson.
You set that back up here. That's mine, sir.
You want me to take
Sir, I never gave it to you.
finish it?
So you'll set it right back here, and I'll talk to somebody else that is a little bit more respectful and cordial with citizens. There's somebody else I can talk to. He's been confrontational with me ever since I walked up to the front door. Okay, I'm trying to talk, and he's cutting me off. He asks me what I want. I begin to say what I want, and he cuts me off again and brings up I'm not going to get into a confrontation. Okay. I told him, I don't know how many times, that's not what I'm here to do. Somebody sent me Padilla's video and said, hey, they have a 30-06, 30-07 sign on their front door. That's my specialty. I'm here about the 30-06, 30-07 signs. That's it. This is what I do. So the only thing I wanted to do today is to come up and a lot of times it's 50-50 when I go to these departments. I always go in the same way, and I tell the folks, look, Chapter 411 of the government code, you got to take those down. The law is very clear. Read it. So sometimes we actually read it together, and they look at it and they're like, okay, well, we'll talk to the city, and then they end up taking them down. And they keep up the no weapons sign, and they continue to prohibit weapons, which is okay. But then some departments are like, we don't want to hear it from you. Okay, fine. I filed a complaint with the AG's office, and then they send them a letter, and then you can go to their website and you can see all the compliance letters that the AG has sent. Okay. And those are mostly because of me. That's all I do. I'm not here for confrontation. I believe that the department should be able to look at the law and say, well, you're right, we're not in compliance with the law, or, you know what, we have a courtroom in this building, so we're going to do it because of the courtroom. And if that's the decision, then so be it. Then I file a complaint with the AG's office, and then they let you know that this is a multi-use building and it doesn't fly. But if it's just a simple matter of we're not going to allow guns in here, then it's a separate issue. I've asked the question. Nobody's answered my question, so I'm left with just coming and saying, hey, look, this is the law. Okay. Look at it, try to follow it if you can. If I can be of any assistance in the matter, please call me. I'm really not trying to get into a confrontation. Okay. I hope to be able to produce a video and say, look, this is not how Leon Valley operates on a daily basis. You guys saw one video put out, and this is not how Leon Valley acts on a daily basis. I understand the tension, and I understand why.
All right, sir. Good enough. Thanks for coming by.
You're R. Salcedo.
Yes, sir.
543. And who was that guy?
That's Lieutenant David Anderson.
David Anderson.
Yes,
Thank you,
he
sir.
works for me.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, very well.
You know, if you guys do decide, man, we're going to take down the signs and we're just going to put up no weapons allowed in here, you certainly can do that. Nobody can even argue with you about that. I'd like to know so I can come back and do a follow-up and show, hey, you know, I went to Leon Valley, I made a complaint, showed them the law, they reviewed it, they didn't give me a hard time, they made whatever change, or they're saying it's because we have a courthouse, and so, guys, I'm going to file a complaint with the Attorney General, and we'll go from there. In any case, I don't have to produce a bunch of crap, right?
Right.
Thank you because you took the time to I'm going to leave all that initial crap out.
All right.
Okay?
All right, very well.
Thank you, sir.
He was able to shake hands, submit the complaint, all was good. However, later that day, once Salvaggio realized that Jack Miller had been there, he knows who Jack Miller is, he decided he was going to charge him with felony crimes. And with that, he went and got a search warrant and arrest warrant and raided Jack Miller and his family later that night with the no-knock warrant. And they were held at gunpoint. And then what Salvaggio did was he approached Jack Miller in his kitchen while he was handcuffed, laughed at him, and thanked him for visiting Leon Valley.
Who's number one? Hold it. Hey, let's get in stack.
You stack her right there. Stack up
Okay,
right there.
well, number two.
Who's two? Who's two?
9443, your case, 1065.
Start drawing it. Who's four? Four. I'm six, so.
I'm five.
Who's four? Four? Mike's four. Mike's five.
Okay, stay on.
Okay. Okay. Keep going.
down, get out! Get on the ground now! Everybody down!
Somebody on him, somebody on him, somebody on him.
Get on him! Move. Room left! Clear!
Coming on you, on you, on you.
Clear! With you, Alex. Clear!
Coming out.
Close door.
Got cover here.
With you. Gilbert.
Bed.
All rooms be clear. Everybody switch up rooms and do a secondary.
Coming out.
Good in here.
Good.
Coming out.
Rifle.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. We check this? Yeah. Somebody go check it again. Switch up rooms. Do a good secondary.
Coming out.
Hey guys, if you haven't, come up, block the street. Yeah.
Hey, my 4-year-old's been free. All right, please.
We got a search warrant. What are you searching for?
Hey, you got your muzzle on my leg, man. You got your muzzle on my leg.
Come on, man.
Can you do both?
Yeah, I got you.
You are so sorry. You're gonna fucking pay, you sorry motherfucker. You're a piece of fucking shit. Fuck out of my way.
What do you have a search warrant for?
I'm running you, motherfucker.
What are y'all searching for?
That's beautiful, Jack. Stop fucking.
What do you have a search warrant for?
You're a fucking punk.
Jack, sit out.
All everybody from Leon Valley can suck my fucking cock. Yeah. All you motherfuckers. Calm down, Jack. It's all good. Fuck you. It's all good.
Jimmy's here.
Hey, this is because I walked into Leon Valley with my rubber Glock. No. This, yeah. No. Placing the weapons prohibited or some shit like that.
So we're working that angle.
Good, charge me.
That's fine.
Coming.
Okay.
Like I said before. It's coming.
Okay. I can let you know that, Jack. Okay.
Cool. Awesome.
We got EMS coming for her.
You got a cuff? Follow the law, Jack. You know about it, right? You guys simply said, Jack, we got a search warrant, we're coming in. You don't have to come in and throw all these fucking people on the fucking ground. Yeah.
All of the charges, thankfully, were dismissed because they were BS charges. So Jack Miller and his family filed a lawsuit for constitutional violations. Unfortunately, the court dismissed that lawsuit after finding that the officers, including Salvaggio, were entitled to qualified immunity. There was no justice. But during that litigation, I was able to get the deposition of twice fired Joseph Salvaggio, and I'm going to share that with you now. So I hope you all enjoy your Thanksgiving, and let me know what you think about this case in the comments. This is clearly established. Thank you for watching. All right, the time is 1:36 p.m. on April 20th, 2023. We are here today to conduct Joseph Salvaggio's deposition in the case Miller et al. V. Salvaggio et al. I'm now going to turn it over to the court reporter.
Sir, would you raise your right hand, please?
That's right.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So help me God.
How do you know Clifford Herberg?
through the DA's office.
Through the DA's office?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is that before, what, did you know Herberg while he was a prosecutor?
No. I knew just met him that I can recall. I mean, I've been around 35 years. When he was at the DA's office. I think he was over one of their units at the DA's office.
Okay, are you aware of him being part of the Alamo Area Council of Governments?
No.
Okay.
Well, let me just fix that. Alamo Area Council of Governments has numerous committees. I was on a committee with the Alamo Area Council of Governments, but I was on the law enforcement committee, so he could have been on a different committee.
Okay, in Alamo Area Council of Governments, I'll call ACOG.
ACOG.
So, in 2018, what information about Jack Miller were you sharing with ACOG?
I was sharing with the other law enforcement agencies if there was anything, any intel, just like they would share intel with us as well. So
sure.
I can't say ACOG was on that list. But they might have been. It wasn't anything that I was going to ACOG and talking to ACOG in meetings or anything like that. That wasn't that I remember.
Did you recommend to ACOG to put together some kind of training so other departments know how to handle, I guess, perceived auditors?
I put together some training because of not wanting the cities to make mistakes, and so they could better understand what the auditors were. When the first time we dealt with the auditors, we weren't prepared. We didn't know exactly how to deal with it. There's a lot of things that the auditors will lie and throw out there about the law or make up stuff that's just totally not true. And Jack was a master at it. And I've watched videos since of him just sitting there lying and lying and lying to the officer, and unfortunately the officer don't know any better. And so he gets away with a lot of stuff that often was criminal. So I wanted to make sure that everybody understood exactly what they can and cannot do and what they need to do to protect themselves. For instance, when they call for a call flood, they're doxing our families. They're making disparaging thousands of phone calls, locking up everything at the place. As Jack says, yes. They needed to know that these are the kind of things that are going to happen. Put your Facebook on private. Otherwise, you'll start getting messages on Facebook cussing you out and going to all your people. So, yeah, I definitely wanted to make sure they knew, one, not to violate the rights of the auditors, but also I wanted them to know what can happen once they do come if they don't like the interaction.
Okay, because at the time you were making this call for this training, you thought the way you were handling people you perceived as auditors, you thought you were handling it right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And that includes going and participating in midnight raids and holding Jack and his family at gunpoint.
So I've heard you talk about this like it's something odd that we have raids in the evening. It wouldn't have been a midnight raid, first of all, but Mr. Miller was not at home. We had to wait an hour and a half, maybe almost 2 hours for him to return home so that we could actually execute the search warrant and arrest warrant. So, but it is very common for us to hit search warrants in the evening and night hours, middle of the night or first thing in the morning. There's nothing odd about that by any stretch in the 500 to 1,000 warrants I've run in my time.
Were you aware that King had signed an affidavit that was written by Eddie Gonzalez?
So it's very common for somebody to, and he didn't say that he wrote it, he said he assisted him in writing it. They both sat down together, from my understanding, so it could be wrong, sat down and worked on that case together. But irrelevant is once King takes it and gets it signed, it's his. He's agreeing to everything that's in there, and it's got nothing to do with Eddie after that. It's all King.
So, and you said a lot, so there's a lot to unpack here. So you kept talking about auditors and used it in a plural term. What is your understanding of an auditor? How do you define auditor?
Well, they're coming around and under the guise of First and Second Amendment, trying to get some type of confrontation so that they can upload that on YouTube so that they can get hits and make money. It's all about making money. There's really no this thing that I'm doing a great society thing is hilarious. It's all about money, and I think if you'd ask Jack to unpack his, what he's made over the years by doing this, it'd be quite disturbing.
Now, you're aware that the other lawsuit with Leon Valley and Jack Miller and everything from June, are you aware that a court preliminary found that you and your officers did violate some constitutional rights?
And no, I'm not aware of anything like that. And as far as I understood, most everything was thrown out, including Jack's. So no, I mean, that's a little bit misleading.
Okay, you haven't read that opinion then?
No.
Okay. And last time we spoke, you were talking about potential litigation with the city of Leon Valley. Had that since been resolved?
No, it's not resolved yet.
Okay, what's going on with that?
It's between my attorney and myself.
Okay, so if there's a judgment found against you in this case, who do you expect to pay for that?
Objection form.
I have no clue.
You don't know if the city will?
I have no clue.
Okay. No one's talked to you about that?
No, sir.
Okay. And also, prior to May 31, 2018, you knew of Jack Miller?
I knew of him. To characterize it that we had a relationship and we knew each other is completely wrong. I'd never met the gentleman until the night he was arrested.
Okay, and you were inside his house. There's video of you inside his house.
Absolutely.
And you're getting in his face with
No, he's getting in my face. And I'm laughing at him because he's acting a fool. He's acting a complete fool while he's in there, cussing at us, screaming at us, basically making demands and orders of us when he's sitting there in handcuffs. I find that hilarious that he would think that he's in charge to be able to do that under those circumstances.
So you thought Jack Miller was acting a fool of himself with you, the chief of police, sitting in his living room in the middle of the night with his kids and family being held in cuffs and gunpoint.
So you're, again, misleading, as you normally do. His kids were never in guns and handcuffs.
How do you know that?
Because I saw Griego standing there, and the kids were in the room. We even offered to bring the kids out so that they could be with their mom, and the mom didn't want them to bring them out.
Okay, before the officers breached into the house or walked into the house, however you want to classify it, you didn't go in there?
No, I didn't go in the house until it was all secure.
So you have no idea what happened?
No, that's not true. I think I can review the videos just like you did and get a good understanding of what happened.
So what officers had body-worn camera that night?
The Griego had a body-worn camera. The detectives, just like San Antonio PD, no detective carries body-worn cameras, and supervisors and above don't carry body-worn cameras. So literally, he was the only patrol officer from us. There were two officers from Kirby, and they had body-worn cameras. But its norm is that one person on a warrant has a body-worn camera. That's the norm. So that we can document everything, but the detectives do not wear them. And San Antonio PD don't wear them at this point either. It's not the norm.
Well, you don't know that.
I do know that. I spent 29 years with San Antonio Police Department.
Okay, when did you leave SA?
I left in 2016, but I've got two relatives on there today that are in tactical response units, and both of them will tell you that no, they don't wear body-worn cameras.
Okay, and then Griego, he was at the end of the stack.
Correct.
Right?
That's what you normally want to put him so that you can get the body camera of all that was going on.
So by the time Griego, with his body-worn camera, walks into the house, the damage is already done.
What damage? There's no damage. The speculation that the guns got pointed at him, that's all you're doing is speculating, because I didn't see that. In fact, what I saw on the camera is that nobody got a weapon pointed at him.
So if you didn't see it, your position is it didn't happen?
Well, if I didn't see it on the video where the guys are actually the ones carrying the guns, then no, I never saw anybody on there.
Did you ever ask your officers, hey, how did you go into this room?
No, that's not relevant to me or anybody else. They went in and secured the rooms, and the only person that were in the rooms were the kids, and they saw them on the bed. And Griego said he never pointed a weapon at them.
So you think Jack Miller's a liar, right?
Absolutely. He lies all the time. He's gone on record saying he's having sex with my wife. He's gone on record with a tombstone from me. So this is the man that you are representing. He's nothing but a liar.
So if he says and his family say that your officers pointed weapons at them, you automatically, you're like, I'm not even going to look at it.
I would, if there was a complaint of that, we would definitely look at it. There was no complaint of that night. You didn't hear anything on the body-worn cameras complaining that guns were being drawn. In fact, his daughter was telling him and her husband to stop, that they were making it worse by the way they were behaving, not the officers. I think the officers, what we saw on the camera, they did a great job. They were very attentive. They were giving them water. They were trying to do everything they can to make them comfortable under those circumstances.
So you expected Jack Miller to go file a complaint when he just filed a complaint hours earlier and was sitting there at midnight with several of your officers inside of his house.
Absolutely. If he's got a complaint, he can mail it in. He knows that.
What was the result of his complaint about the signage?
The Attorney General's office said that they were looking into it, and we were good.
And actually, today, those signs are no longer posted, are they?
That's because Jack and his cronies got all that stuff taken away.
So is it possible that Jack Miller was right with his complaint?
No, because y'all try to make this as a 30-06 and 30-07 issue, but it was 46.03. Y'all haven't talked about the signs that were on the second door and windows saying that this is a courtroom during this time period and you can't carry a weapon. There were signs that we took up and down based on the day of the court. So yes, the outer door is 46.03 and 46.07, but the inner door had a 46.03 sign, places weapon prohibited, and explaining that this is a courtroom and you can't bring a weapon in here. And that's what he passed.
Okay, so I'm gonna read. Did you get a chance to see Officer Rivera's deposition?
No, I have not. I've seen anybody's deposition.
Okay. Did you get a chance to watch Jack Miller's video from May 31, 2018?
I watched a video 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay, and did you see Jack Miller was shaking hands with Lieutenant Anderson?
After the fact, yeah.
What do you mean after the fact?
After he'd already gone and put his gun up.
Okay, but still at the courthouse, right?
Yes.
When he came back in to submit the complaint.
Correct.
He shook Lieutenant Anderson's hand.
Right.
He shook Saucedo's hand.
Hmm?
And he was overall polite.
Objection form.
No, I wouldn't say he was polite. He was jacking with Anderson, trying to continue to have him repeat his name. That's so that the other auditors would know who to start looking up and try to dox him. That's the normal little game the auditors play.
Okay,
so I wouldn't say he was being polite. He was still playing some games, and the two people who were in there were filming, and so it was a show. It was a circus.
Okay, and so how did you find out about Jack Miller being inside of Leon Valley?
It was well after the fact. I was in a meeting, and when I came out, I think Lieutenant Anderson, but I'm not 100% sure, told me that he'd been in the building.
Did he text you?
No. I came out of a meeting.
Did he call you?
No, not that I remember.
How
No.
did he tell you?
He told me Jack Miller was here with a gun.
Well, how did he tell you?
What do you mean how?
Did he come to you face to face?
Yeah, face to face.
So you were in a meeting inside Leon Valley's
Correct.
City Hall, or
I think if I remember correctly, it was in the city manager's office.
Okay. So you and Anderson came to you and said Jack Miller was here.
Yes.
Okay. And what else did he say?
With a gun.
With a gun. But they didn't arrest him.
Correct.
Why not?
He said that he made the decision not to arrest because the circumstances were that he had probably 5 people with him, and that there was probably 150 people in that little small area. Jack's been arrested and convicted for resisting arrest.
Hold on. Don't misconstrue the record. You're saying on May 31, 2018?
He had been arrested for resisting arrest in Almus Park.
You're saying on May, I want to clarify, you're saying on May 31, 2018 that Jack Miller had a conviction for
No, he wasn't convicted
arrest.
that. I said he's been arrested and subsequently has been convicted. No, but at that time he wasn't.
And that conviction is not final, right?
No, it's the judge said you're guilty.
It's not final.
Well, that's between you and the judge.
So you're getting this information. Are you still talking to Renee Valenciano today?
No.
So how do you get that information?
It was online.
So
I think he did a video himself.
If we have text messages about you discussing the Jack Miller with Renee Valenciano, would it be a lie?
I don't know. I can't remember. But we very well could have.
Okay, so on May 31, 2018, okay, so let me back up. So when do you think Jack Miller was arrested for resisting arrest?
I have no clue. I just know that he had Valenciano come to the Chiefs Association meeting, gave us a presentation, and he'd been arrested, I believe, a couple of times in Almas Park by that time. And I believe one of those times was for resisting arrest.
Okay, so if I tell you that that did not occur since February 2020, do you have any reason to dispute that?
That the first arrest didn't occur since February 2020?
The one you're talking, resisting arrest.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
The only resisting arrest he has was February 6, 2020.
In Almas Park?
Correct.
Okay. Well, as far as I was told, he was resisting arrest back then. So I haven't looked at his criminal history. I really wasn't that interested in Jack, still not. I just remember them saying he had been arrested. I know one of the things he'd been arrested for was for lawful carrying or something along the lines with a weapon. But I don't remember all the details.
Okay, so you did say something interesting though. You were talking about you still by that point had saw a presentation by Rene Valenciano.
Correct.
At an Alamo Area Police Chiefs Association meeting in early May 2018. Correct. And that presentation focused on Jack Miller.
No, it was focused on everybody that got arrested. It was more than Jack.
Okay, but it did have a mugshot of Jack Miller?
I can't recall. It's 5 years ago.
And then you also sent officers to attend a several-hour meeting in early May at the DA's office, right?
Officers sent? I don't understand your question.
You sent officers, Leon Valley police officers, to a DA meeting, Bexar County DA meeting, multi-agency meeting,
right,
at the DA's office.
I brought, if you're asking me, did I bring officers to the meeting? Yes, I definitely did.
And I think it was at that point you previously stated that's when you discovered that Jack Miller was some kind of link between First and Second Amendment auditors.
I don't know at what point we connected the fact that he's a First and Second Amendment auditor. I don't know what point it was.
Okay, but you considered what Jack Miller was doing was criminal.
That's a very broad statement. Can you say specifically what we're talking about? I mean, him walking up and down the sidewalk is not criminal, and nobody ever messed with him for that. It is criminal to bring a gun into the courtroom or areas that are germane to the court.
Okay, how do you know that he was there with a gun?
Because I was told by Lieutenant Anderson, and I overheard Erica talking about it, and Mike Tackard and Jimmy Wells.
Oh, you overheard?
Yeah, they would stand out right out Lieutenant Anderson's office and Eddie Gonzalez's office were 1 and 2 down from me. So sometimes when there was more people than could fit in their offices, they were small offices, they would stand in the hallway and discuss.
Okay, you're aware that no one testified or mentioned, to include Rivera herself, that she was involved in any discussions with anybody about this case?
I don't know.
Objection form.
How do you know she was in these meetings?
No, I'm not saying she was in those meetings. I said I heard them talking individually, collectively in the hallway. I overheard discussions. And so I'm not saying Erica was in any meeting. I'm not saying that there was a meeting of all of those people. I just said I heard things in the hallway, and as I passed, go to, wherever, bathroom or whatever.
Okay, so I'm going to read from Officer Rivera's deposition in this case.
Okay.
Question. Okay, have you had an incident prior to May 31, 2018, where someone would go and attempt to go into the building with a prohibited item? Answer. With any person? Question. Yes. Answer. Yes. Question. Okay, and what would you normally do in that situation? Answer. I would tell them that they need to go back into their vehicle or a lockbox. We had a lockbox just for firearms or items for individuals that wanted to put it in there for court. So they had the option of the lockboxes or to put it in their car. And again, notify them that's a no. They go and take care of it and come back.
Objection to form the question.
And then question, okay, then they were allowed entry at that point? Answer, correct. Is that the normal procedure for people going into court? If they come in with a prohibited item such as a weapon, they're told to use the lockbox or go to their car?
So, as you misled her, you said prohibited item. A prohibited item is a phone, something along those lines at that time. If he came in like he did and passed the second door where the signs are up saying 46.03 places weapons prohibited, and then he didn't just stop at the door. He came in after she was telling him not to come in the door, and he even went so far over to the restroom to the right and had conversation with Detective Wells.
How do you know that?
I could see it on the video.
You saw the video. So
I've seen the video that was George, whatever his name is, was wearing one of the cameras angles where he went over and said, "Hi, I'm right here," in the video. So yeah, he way past the and there was no magnetometer. She had a handheld that she did. So
you are confusing your timeline. Your officers did not go get a body worn camera?
No, it's his body worn camera.
Okay, so you saw his camera.
I've seen the video.
Okay, so when he's saying in that video that the weapon is fake.
No, I saw him saying, he said, "They make me take my gun off." And I saw him saying at the car, when the person was filming in the car, "They made me take my gun. I had to take my gun off. They won't let me in with my gun." And then I've seen the text messages from him where he said, "I went in with a gun." None of those things say fake guns. None of it.
So you were selective on what you heard in Jack Miller's video?
No, not selective. That's what I remember.
Okay. So, and you're saying I misled Officer Rivera. I should know.
You said prohibited items.
Yeah, and she's the one who said we had a lockbox just for firearms.
That's fine. We did. It's in between the first and second. No problem for them to come in through the first door and put their gun up. It's a problem when you come in through the second door and then refuse to leave.
That is not. Okay, so, all right. She says, right? She says that they notify them that they have to go use the lockbox or put it in their car.
Right.
How can Officer Rivera tell anybody that if she's standing behind the second door?
Because they're not coming in through the second door. It's the first door that he was able to come in without a problem, put his gun up. He knows there's signs out front telling him no weapons allowed that he passed. There's 46.03 or 6 and 7, whatever it is, the OT signs that he passes. But he came specifically to challenge that without thinking that it was a courtroom. And you hear him saying throughout that, it was just about the 30-06 sign. No, it's about 46.03 because it was a courtroom and areas that were central to the court.
All right, so clarify a couple of things. Let me back up. You said that Jack Miller was there with 5 people, but you also said that you watched video, right? Lobby video?
I didn't watch the lobby video. I watched, for that part of it we're talking about was his video.
Okay, what 5 people?
I don't know who they were. There were people that were all around. You see it in some of his videos. You see the other people.
I'm not talking about other videos. I'm talking about May 31, 2018. You were saying that Jack Miller was there with 5 people.
Yeah.
What 5 people?
I don't know the guys. He can tell me.
But you went and raided his house. Why not?
That's not why his house was. That's not how that. Well, first of all, he brought a gun into a restricted area.
Okay.
The other 5 people weren't doing anything besides filming. There's nothing illegal about them filming.
Okay, and I'll represent to you that he had one person with him by the name of Brian Howd. Do you know Brian Howd?
I know him.
Okay, Brian Howd. Who else?
I just told you I don't know the other people.
Okay, so why are you exaggerating this?
Nobody's exaggerating anything. I'm telling you what I saw. Sorry you don't see the same things or what I've been told.
How did you see it?
Either I saw the people that were filming or somebody has told me that there was up to 5 people in there.
Okay, so on May 31, 2018, you'd agree that Jack Miller was going in towards the end of the day, right?
I don't remember what time it was.
Like around 4 p.m., I think.
I don't remember what time it was, to be honest with you.
But your meeting was in the afternoon?
I just told you I don't remember what time it was.
Okay, did you see if Jack Miller had any video posted that night?
I didn't look.
Okay, so what video was available to you on May 31, 2018?
The video that was available to us was in the lobby or what Rivera or Brooks put on the table.
Okay, so if I pop up the lobby video, you'll be able to point out the 5 people that are with Jack Miller?
If I see them.
Okay, we'll get that. The other thing is Jack Miller, you heard the conversation between Jack Miller and Officer Rivera, right?
I didn't hear the conversation live. I've heard what was on video.
Okay, so you didn't actually watch the portion of Jack Miller's video where he's speaking with Officer Rivera?
Yeah, I think I did.
Okay. And she told him he can't come in with a firearm.
Correct. That was before he breached the second door.
No, really?
Yeah, it was before he got in the second door. She was standing right there at the door, and he still came in and went over to the bathrooms. That's what I recall, but it's been 5 years.
Okay, but you've been tied up in litigation with Jack Miller since 2018, and now you're saying, "Oh, I don't remember."
I've been tied up with litigation with Jack. No.
Do you blame Jack Miller for you getting fired from Leon Valley?
No. Despite his head shaking, yes, it's his fault.
Who do you blame for that then? I think
Crystal Caldera, who said that that on her first day there that she was going to let me go, so it's her fault.
Well, you testified previously that you blamed, I think, Jack Miller and his cronies or whatever you call
No, I
them.
never blamed them for getting me fired. That's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. Where did I testify to that?
During the other laws.
You have that?
Sure I do. But there's another time for that.
Awesome.
It's already under oath.
Absolutely.
All right. So the statutes you keep referencing, you also know that there's a specific definition for firearm, right?
Yes.
And what is that definition?
I wouldn't. It's
in your own words.
It's a gun.
And it has to be able to discharge.
Sure.
Right. So what?
Well, I wouldn't even say that, because regardless of whether it's in working order or not, if it's still a gun that's designed to fire.
Designed to fire.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what information did you understand the officers had that he had a real gun?
So after the fact, they told me the three different people. Rivera said she recognized it as a Glock. It was black in color, semi-automatic Glock. Jimmy Wells says he recognized it as a Glock. And then Mike Tackard said he recognized it as a Glock. And specifically, when he was asked, well, could it have been fake? He said no, because the type of Glock that he had, the only ones that have the stamp on the back of the magazine is a real Glock. Glock doesn't make a gun that has a stamp on the back at that time, a stamp on the back that shows that it's a Glock. So he was Tackard used to be in charge of all firearms for the Department of Public Safety. He's a firearms expert, and he was adamant that that was a real Glock.
Okay, but Tackard didn't detain Jack Miller, right?
No, a decision had already been made. That wasn't Tackard's call.
Okay, so even though the officers knew they didn't have sufficient information, and they could have gotten that by detaining him.
They had plenty of information. They saw a gun. They saw a gun. 3 people and 4 people, if you talk to Lieutenant Anderson, saw what they believed was a gun.
If I give you the incident reports, are you going to be able to tell me where any of the officers stated that they saw a Glock with a stamp?
I don't think it matters about Glock with a stamp. What matters is they saw a semi-automatic pistol that they recognized as a gun.
Okay, so there's a difference, though, right, between whether something looks like a gun and whether one is actually designed to fire.
All of them believed that was a real gun. And if it was a fake gun, they would probably say it was a fake gun.
And your testimony is, I want to be clear on this, your testimony is that you had specific conversations with Officer Rivera about what she saw.
Yes.
And she told you that she saw a Glock.
But she believed it was a Glock, absolutely.
Okay, so if she testified that no one talked to her, who's lying?
Objection form?
I can't tell you who's lying. I know I'm not.
All right, and then you sat here during Mr. Gonzalez's deposition, right?
Yes, sir.
And he said out of all the raids he's done at Leon Valley, the only one you ever showed up to was Jack Miller's.
He hadn't done all the raids. That's the first thing. I've shown up to more than Jack Miller's. In fact, the one that we chased for 2-3 days, and he even said something about the weapons. We were recovering weapons.
Go ahead.
We were the Lotus tactical got hit, and there was a bunch of weapons that were stolen, and we ended up chasing those weapons down into a what do you call it, storage facility overnight. And so he has run on weapons. He just didn't remember it. And I went to that one and a couple others.
Okay. The charges charges filed against Jack Miller in 2018 for weapons prohibited. What ended up happening to those?
I don't know what the final outcome was.
You don't know?
I don't know what the final outcome was.
Wait, so you knew that, or you purported to know that Almost Park had arrested Jack Miller for resisting arrest and he was convicted, but you don't know what what the outcome of your own department?
No, I don't. I left the department and I never looked back. No.
When did you leave the department?
2021.
Okay, so you don't know what happened to the charges from 2018?
When the time that I left, the charges were still open. They had been refiled, and the charges were still open at the time that I left.
Okay, so the charges were dismissed and then refiled.
I wouldn't say dismissed. I've heard you try to characterize it like that. There was an ICR. ICRs are very common. And in the ICR and in discussion with the DA's office, they tell you this is the problem we had with the case. If you seek to refile it, these are the things that we need to make it go forward. And so that's what we did. The issue they had at the time was about
okay, if it's not dismissed, what do you call it?
pending. Now, I was waiting for you to stop talking. I want to finish my sentence, please. The issue they had at the time was we didn't detail that front area very well as to the judge deeming it as an area central to the court. So we refiled it with a letter from the judge, from the court coordinator, from the city attorney, and the city attorney that talks about and provided the policy that Judge Morales had signed previous to Jack coming in with a gun.
Okay, I'm going to show you a 6-page document from the county clerk and district court record search for case 2018 CR 8725. I'm going to label this as continuing from the last deposition as Exhibit 4. And I'm going to go down to page...
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Go to page 4. I want you to look at the entry dated, go back, July 16, 2019. Wait, hold on. Okay, take it back. I'm going to go to page 2, and I'm going to show you, I want you to look at the entry for January 14, 2020.
Is there any dates on this even?
No, we just printed it from the website, and we'll produce this after as Exhibit 4. Do you see the phrase DSMD-INSF evidence?
Yes.
Okay, so is it your understanding that that would be dismissed for insufficient evidence?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay, so when you say that I mischaracterized what happened to the case, it was in fact dismissed.
Which case is the?
Yeah,
I'll scroll up to page 1 so you can look at that.
okay.
You see
Well, what you asked me is, do I have any information on it being dismissed? And my answer was no, I don't.
Well,
I've never seen this.
Well, then you said I was mischaracterizing, like you knew it was not dismissed.
The last time I had heard, it was not dismissed, and I've not heard anything since then.
All right, now I'm going to show you what is Bates labeled as
0546.
LVO 546 and 547. So on the second page there, 547, that's your signature, right?
Yeah, that's mine.
Okay, and the date of this letter is March 13, 2020.
Correct.
So this is after the first case was dismissed.
Correct.
And there's a post-it note there that says, please prepare to refile direct with DA.
Yes.
Did you write that post-it?
Yes.
Okay, so you are instructing someone within Leon Valley to refile the charges.
More than likely, that was King because he was the one that was in charge.
Okay, so you would have directed King to refile the charges against Jack Miller.
Correct.
So why did you order the charges to be refiled against Jack Miller?
For the exact reason I said just a second ago, and that was we were notified what the problems they had with the case, which is the norm. This happens with the DA's office all the time. They tell you what was wrong and give you an opportunity to refile it to try to rectify whatever deficiency that they felt like we had. In reality, is probably 90% of the cases that go to this DA gets dismissed. So being dismissed doesn't mean anything in Bexar County, I can tell you that.
Okay, so sitting here today, you still think that Jack Miller committed a felony by walking?
Absolutely, with a gun.
Okay.
Walking into a court area with a gun.
Okay, did your officers ever find a black?
Absolutely.
Glock?
When the guys knocked on the door, he actually had it in his hand. So that was a gun that was most accessible to him when he got home. He had it in his hand, and then it was found on the countertop right next to where he was standing.
We'll get to that in a second. Go to the go back to the Exhibit 4. Okay, now what did you understand happened to the you knew the charges were refiled?
Yes.
You know what happened to those refiled charges?
No, I do not.
Okay. I guess they never accepted them. Okay.
We didn't get another ICR. That's all I can tell you. Which, if they get the charges, they should submit another ICR letting us know. So that would explain why they never told us.
All right. So, how long were you at Leon Valley?
About 5 years.
Okay.
4.5.
At 4.5, 5 years. How many charges did you attempt to file on Jack Miller?
I didn't attempt to file any charges on Jack Miller.
How many charges did you direct to have filed on?
Never directed anybody to file a charge.
Well, we just showed you
To refile a charge. It was the same charge, though. There's no new charges.
Okay, didn't you testify in court in the Zenter matter where you told the judge that you were evaluating organized criminal activity charges?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, did you ever file those?
I don't file charges. You asked me what I directed. I don't direct anything. I don't file anything. That's not my job.
Okay, but your job was to show up at Jack Miller's residence in the middle of the night and smirk at him.
Objection form.
Is that your job?
Yeah, absolutely. When he's making a fool of himself, absolutely.
Okay, and then...
And he's directing it at me. It's not just he was making a fool of himself to everybody else. He's directing it at me.
And then when the charges are dismissed, your job is to then direct that they get refiled.
Yep.
How many times did you direct charges to be refiled against Jack Miller?
I believe that's the only one that I know of, but I don't know.
Okay. Did your department ever attempt to file organized criminal activity charges against Jack Miller?
Absolutely.
And what happened to those?
Like everything else at the DA's office, it was dismissed.
Okay. Did you ever think that maybe you were looking at this too personally against Jack Miller?
It wasn't personal. Actually, the DA's office is the one that said they recommended we file the organized crime.
Okay.
It was their recommendation.
So they recommended it based on information you told them?
No, based on information they saw on video and based on evidence that had already been turned over.
Okay, so they said, hey, file organized criminal activity charges.
That's what they said.
And your office did it.
Correct.
And then they got rejected?
No, I think it rejected. They dismissed them, as far as I know. Not rejected, but dismissed.
Okay.
The DA's changed, and the new DA said, we don't want to focus on this. We want to focus on violent crime. So they just started dismissing everything.
Okay, so did you also plead with the DA's office to not dismiss charges against Jack Miller?
I wouldn't say plead. I tried to. It got nothing to do with Jack Miller. Per se, it's any of the charges, and saying if there are things that we need to fix on a case, please let us know. We'll definitely take care of that.
Were you concerned that the charges getting dismissed was impacting the morale of your officers?
No, I wouldn't say that. Not that I remember. No, we're all used to charges being dismissed by the DA. There's nothing new.
So if there's a text that says the officers are demoralized, they feel betrayed, does that sound familiar?
No, it doesn't sound familiar, but it could be. I could have said that.
I'm going to show you Bear. It's information we received from Bear County, Bates labeled Bear 3. Yeah, that is much better.
And this is not Bates stamped either.
It's Bear 3. It's base labeled by Bear County.
In this
Do
lawsuit?
we have
In
this?
this lawsuit.
Do we have it previously?
Yeah, these are documents we produced from Bear County.
Not in this lawsuit.
Yes, in this lawsuit.
Well, they've never been a party to the lawsuit.
No, but we did a subpoena to them. You
Correct.
have the info.
Because I requested all the information that you had.
We sent it to you. You have it.
And is it Bates stamped?
It's Bates stamped Bear 3.
Bear 3.
And Bear County is representing that this is text messages that you sent to their prosecutors.
To who?
I don't know. Let me show you. So see if any of this stuff looks familiar to you. I may have to depose Bear County to get who you were talking with. So the very top line says, which is purportedly to be from you, I'm being told a decision has been made to drop charges on Jack Miller and all the auditors except Springer and Bow. They will also get dropped if Google warrants don't produce more evidence. WTF? We and all police are being served up on a platter with this decision. What gives? You remember sending that text message?
No, and without showing me that it's mine or who I was talking to, I couldn't say it was mine or not.
Oh, okay. Here you go. Let me show you. Matter of fact, I'll just mark this stuff as. Just make this easier. This is going to be Bear 7. Oh, sorry. So going to be Bear 17. I'll go ahead and mark it as Exhibit 5. And this came from Bear County. And this is where they list it as Joe SAV. That might be a cleaner copy than this here.
Yeah, I can't say this is or isn't mine. I don't know where it came from, and my name's not Joe SAV, so I don't know. That was one of the decisions they made, but it's not. It's got nothing to do with this case. If this is true and correct, this has nothing to do with this case. That was talking about the original charges or the other charges for the group.
Okay. I'm going to mark Bear 16 as Exhibit 6, if this helps.
Yeah, it might have been me. Why didn't it show the phone numbers? That's the norm, isn't it?
I'm not Bear County.
Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't say yay or nay that that's mine.
Okay, so on Exhibit 6, it looks like this information, this text message was sent September 3rd, 2019. You said a personal phone. So did you, when you were at Leon Valley, did you have a work cell phone?
I had a work cell phone.
Okay, what happened to that cell phone?
It was turned in when I left.
Okay, so what type of phone was it?
It was a smartphone, but I don't remember what type it was.
Android or Apple?
Don't recall.
Or BlackBerry?
Yeah, I don't recall.
Was it with AT&T?
No, it was with FirstNet, which AT&T's part. It's part of AT&T, but it's not. It's FirstNet.
Okay, so but I think you all switched to FirstNet in 2020, right?
I don't know.
I think you wrote an article on it.
We weren't with AT&T prior. I think we were with Verizon, I believe. I can't remember.
Okay.
But we did switch to them. And this could be me because it talks about the sexual assault case on Jack Miller, and he was being investigated at the time for it.
Okay, you actually by Kirby.
By Kirby, correct.
Okay, so you actually didn't know that Kirby had already closed that case by then?
No, Kirby hadn't closed that case by then.
Oh, you haven't seen
Actually, on the video, it shows one of the investigators was actually part of the team, and they were talking about it at that time.
Yeah, so you actually didn't see the paperwork that showed that case was closed.
No, I wouldn't. Hell, if I didn't see the ones on my own cases, I wouldn't have seen that one.
Okay, so you called Kirby PD to ask them for support on this, right?
I don't recall, but I might have.
Okay, so you would have called them through dispatch, right?
Should have.
Which
Yeah,
is
I would think.
included.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Okay, so is it one of your roles to contact Kirby PD to ask for their support?
So all the guys had tasks that they were getting ready for or doing, and I volunteered to go ahead and make that call. It wasn't as a chief; it was just making the call like we would for any other search warrant that we would run. We notify the dispatch so that they're listening up for anything, shots fired, or anything that comes in.
And you understood that Kirby PD happened to, I guess, be investigating Jack Miller for sex assault?
I can't say that I knew at that time. I can't say that. I don't know at what point I became knowledgeable of that.
And then when we look at Exhibit 5, it was sent in January 14, 2020, which is around the time that Jack Miller's case was dismissed.
Before or after it was refiled?
Well, before the refiling.
Okay.
All right. So the case was dismissed January 14, 2020.
That's
and
when?
that same day, there's a text purported to be from you saying that there was a you learned of a decision.
Yeah, we already talked about this one. I said I can't say yeah or nay. It's
no,
not.
but you said that this wasn't pertaining to this case.
No, I'm saying I don't know if that document is mine or not, or my text messages or not. I don't know. I don't recall the text message. If you were to show me it came from my phone with a phone number, I would gladly say yes.
Well, okay. So in 2018, you knew. Since July 4th, 2018, well, not July 4th, but July 2018, you knew you were involved in litigation, right?
Not in this case.
Well, but with Jack Miller.
Jack Miller in another case.
Right. Did you do anything to preserve your text messages?
They were all on the phone. If I had text messages, I normally didn't use text messaging. So if anything was, if any were received, it should have been on the phone when we turned it in.
Okay, and so when you're texting from your private phone, as seen in Exhibit 6, did you preserve those text messages?
Yeah, at the time I did, if I did, and it was very rare. But since then, my phone has been, I had to replace my phone and lost everything.
Okay, did you, so what steps did you take to try to preserve the text messages?
I can't even say these are my text messages.
Well, but you had text messages on your phone, right?
Again, I don't know. I mean, I had my personal text message for sure, but I can't say that any of these things were from my personal phone or not.
Okay, your personal phone, was that an Apple or an Android?
The one I used to have?
Yes.
It was an Apple.
Okay, so you're aware of iMessages, right?
I don't know what
the
the
messaging
difference.
platform.
Yeah.
Okay, did you have your messages backed up to iMessages?
No, I don't back up my messages. No.
Did you ever turn over any text messages to your attorneys?
Don't know that I even had text messages. I don't know. I can't say.
Okay, so sitting here today, you have no text messages from 2018, 2019, or 2020?
No.
Okay, even though you have been involved in litigation with Jack Miller since 2018?
Yes.
Okay. What, and did anybody tell you that you needed to preserve that information?
I know that we need to preserve, business stuff. Absolutely. But again, I can't say that that's me or anything, because it's very rare if I did text from my personal phone anything that's got to do with business.
Okay. So, and I can always ask Barrett County about this, but I'm more concerned about being able to get text messages from you.
Okay.
Right? Because you've also communicated via text with Renee Valenciano, right?
Yeah, personal stuff. I don't think, we may or may not business. I don't think so, but I can't be sure. We're talking 5+ years ago.
And that's why we need to preserve things, right?
Yeah, if there's something that needs to be preserved.
And then also on this, it talks about the the DA appears to, someone from the DA's office appears to want to sit down with you, and they're trying to schedule a meeting, I guess, in late January 2020. Do you recall sitting down with the DA's office in late January 2020 to talk about Jack Miller?
No, I don't. We had many meetings. The ones we were talking about earlier, the big meeting, had nothing to, it wasn't about Jack Miller. There was no names or anybody. It was more about what they were dismissing across the board. Like interference with the duties of a police officer, and we're trying to find out, okay, if you won't take that, tell us what you will take. At what point does this become interference under Bexar County law, not the actual law and stuff? So that was what the meeting was about. It wasn't about Jack.
I think we've been going for a while. Let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break. It is 12:28 p.m.
Not 12.
Sorry, 2:28 p.m.
I see red.
All right. The time is 2:40 p.m. All right. Right. It is your private email address, or at least in 2018, jsalvaggio1988@gmail.com.
Yes.
Okay. And did you often forward yourself emails about Jack Miller or other people you identified as auditors?
Things that were threats, or things that were things that involve my family normally. I would send it so that I would have it later on if there was anything that happened to my family.
Okay, did any of those emails pertain to Jack Miller?
I have no clue.
Okay, do you still have access to that Gmail?
I do.
Okay. And so if there were any emails pertaining to Jack Miller, that's something that you should still have access to?
Should be.
Okay, have you turned over any Gmail emails to your attorneys for this case?
No, I didn't realize there was any. Is there?
Looks like at least one that I found. We recently got about, I think, 20,000 emails. We're still kind of going through, but I found at least one, so I thought I'd ask.
Yeah. Well, what's the title so I can go home and look at it?
Well, I just asked you to do a search for Jack Miller. Right?
I don't think that's his what he goes by.
Or Texas Sheepdog or whatever it is.
Okay.
So it's like one is just titled emails. Another is auditor emails. Another looks like pertains to Joseph Pierce.
I need to take this.
Sure, we'll take another break. 2:42 p.m. Right. Time is 2:44 p.m. So, on May 31, 2018, who made the decision to go arrest Jack Miller?
I wasn't present. I believe it was a collective decision when they sat down and had conversation amongst them as to whether they had probable cause to get a search warrant or an arrest warrant. So I can't say who made the ultimate decision. The highest ranking person that I know of that was in the room was Lieutenant Anderson.
Okay, so did anyone talk to you about whether or not they had sufficient information for probable cause?
No, that's not the norm. They wouldn't talk to me about that.
Okay, so did you invite yourself to go to Jack Miller's house, or were you asked to come along?
So we were counting up the amount of people we had available, and we did not have enough. Even though I know y'all think 7 is a lot, it's not. We normally would want 2 people per room, and a bare minimum 1 person per room. And so I said, look, I'll go and I'll stay outside and let y'all secure the thing so that if there's any problems out front or anything that needs to be dealt with out front on the perimeter, outside perimeter, I'll do that. So I volunteered to do that.
Wait, so you're saying 7 people was not enough. You wanted at least 2 people per room, but you weren't involved in any of the clearing.
No, I'm telling you. No, I wasn't involved in the clearing. I'm just telling you from my years on tactical units, which was most of my career, what we would like to have. We definitely normally couldn't have that in a small unit. So we didn't feel like with Jack's history and propensity to carry weapons, we didn't feel like we needed to have as many people available up to that 2 per room, and we didn't have that.
Well, so why did you think it was necessary to go into Jack Miller's house in the middle of the night as opposed to like the following day?
We run the warrants when the warrants come. So there's hundreds. In fact, most of the warrants I've ever been on, which is hundreds, has been in the evening time or at nighttime.
So how many warrants have you been involved in concerning weapons, places prohibited?
Just weapons alone,
That's not
50 to 100. I don't know which ones were. I can't remember which ones were places weapons prohibited. There have been some.
There have been?
Yeah, back in years ago.
With who?
With San Antonio Police Department.
Okay, so can you think of years? What
No, I can't.
do you know what cases?
It's 30 years of law enforcement. No, I can't. From the time I was a patrolman all the way up through the time I was a captain, I was involved in search warrants.
Okay, so you went along. Was it what did you understand your role was?
To stay out front, to make sure that there's no issues out front, nobody coming from behind them, or no people coming out of the next house or whatever, to control and secure that area.
Okay, and this would let me just understand too. So if it turned out that Jack Miller's firearm was not an actual firearm within the meaning of the statute, is it your understanding that he was still committing a felony?
I think it's a strange question, because it was a gun. If he wasn't carrying a gun, we would not have got a search warrant or arrested him.
But you don't actually know if it was a gun.
I know 4 people that got 20. Most of them with more than 20 years of service doing this kind of work, all said it was a gun. So I would say yes, we do.
But no one detained him.
No, nobody detained him.
And no one arrested him.
Not at that time.
But he allegedly committed a felony.
He did commit a felony, yes.
But what we did know is that your officers knew that it was Jack Miller, right?
I don't know that, Eric. I don't know. You'd have to ask those officers. I don't know which one knew and which one didn't.
Oh, you didn't read the incident reports?
No.
You weren't sitting in here during Gonzalez's deposition when we were talking about it?
Well, I hear him talking about it, but that doesn't mean I have firsthand knowledge of it.
Okay, and actually there were bulletins or information.
Yeah, there was
packets.
bulletins sent out. Yeah, absolutely.
And there were information packets available to officers, right?
I don't know if there were information packages ever done. I heard you asking that question, something I sent. I don't remember them ever doing it, to be honest with you. I think it got blown off for whatever reason. Now I look back at it and go, hey, why didn't you do that? No, I don't think it ever happened.
But Anderson knew of Jack Miller.
You'd have to ask Anderson. I mean, I can't say that.
Okay, Tackard?
I can't say Tackard knew him either.
So you don't think any of your officers would have known?
I didn't say that.
Okay, so the officers that observed Jack Miller coming in with apparently 5 people, they knew that who he was.
I just told you I don't know what they knew. You need to ask them. I don't know what their mindset was at that time. I can't tell you whether they knew at that time. The only discussion was on the weapon and the type of weapon it was.
Okay, and so how many hours did it take to get the warrant?
You asked me earlier if it was 4 o'clock when it started. I don't know if that was. I think they got the warrant signed a little bit after 10 or around 10, but that's I can't tell you for sure.
And they knew Jack Miller's name, right? You all knew Jack Miller's name.
Yeah, they knew one of the people identified him. I don't know who.
Okay, had his address, right?
Yes.
And then somebody went and conducted, I guess, surveillance on the house as well.
Right, and he wasn't there.
Okay, who conducted surveillance on the house?
Jimmy Wells.
Wells with your department?
Yes, sir.
Okay, did you know that there were minor children inside of the house?
Did not, and it wouldn't have changed a thing.
And so someone identified at some point Jack Miller on May 31, 2018, right? But you don't know how?
No, I wasn't involved in any of that.
Okay, and so if the warrant affidavit, did you ever review that affidavit?
Did not.
Okay. So you didn't have any part. You just basically were like, oh, y'all are going to... How did you know there was going to be a search and arrest warrant?
Lieutenant Anderson said this is what we were planning to do. Okay.
Okay. And you had no discussion or involvement in that whatsoever?
You know, I think I might have said something along the lines of, they'd already made their decision. I'm like, yeah, that's probably the best decision. If you're going to run it tonight. So that's probably the extent of, but they had already made that decision, and I believe they were already going downtown to get them, or wherever they were going to get the warrant signed.
Okay, and so you weren't when you were outside of the residence and Miller was out there already in handcuffs. What did you say to him?
I can't tell you exactly. I know he started, running his mouth about me or to me, and I just laughed at him, and said, "Hey, you're the best witness we have," or something along those lines. You're going to give us all the evidence.
All the evidence for what?
For unlawfully carrying, or not unlawfully carrying, for places weapons prohibited.
Okay, and you thought at that point he was this link, right, between, I guess, who you describe as First Amendment auditors and Second Amendment auditors.
So the second time you asked that question, the first time I said, I don't know about the link and what makes it the link, or I don't remember when at some point that he became doing both, but he is known to do both. So the word link, I'm not understanding what you're saying.
If I recall correctly, and we can always go back and look at it later.
Yeah.
Previously, you knew that Jack Miller made a statement to you, or not to you, I'm sorry, his complaint on this incident on May 31, 2018, was because he saw in Padilla's video signs that he thought were against the law. That
Correct.
was his complaint.
I remember that.
Right. And so your position, or at least at that time, and I'm summarizing,
I think that's probably the problem. Yeah. You're summarizing I don't agree with.
Right, that's fine. If you don't agree with it, tell me. But I'm summarizing that when you realized that Jack Miller had seen Padilla's video about weapons, that's when you realized he was somehow connected to both groups.
No, I mean, it might have been after the fact. It definitely wasn't before he got arrested, I can tell you that. I was not connecting him with anybody on First Amendment side or anything like that. I can't say that I can't say that the Almost Park Chief's Valenciano's presentation had that in there. So once that presentation went, I didn't think twice about anything. Auditors are not.
No, it's not, and I'm not talking about that presentation. I'm talking about specifically at some point you thought, right? At some point you thought Jack Miller was, I guess, some kind of connection between both groups.
Yeah, he is a connection between both groups. Well, yeah. Okay.
But you can't recall sitting here today how you came to that conclusion.
It was, if I had to say, it's watching his videos where he performs First Amendment audits and Second Amendment audits. He does both.
Okay, and did you watch those videos on May 31, 2018?
He didn't put up, that I know of, I think he put up a video begging for money, e-begging as they call it, because he got arrested. But he didn't put up a video that I can recall that showed the search warrant at that time. I think months later, year later, I can't remember, he put up the Kirby videos. But I don't remember I don't remember when those were.
All right. And so is it possible that you wanted to use this incident, this May 31, 2018 incident, you and your officers to get all of Jack Miller's computers and devices to be able to try to show some link?
No, absolutely not. It had nothing to do with anything besides the weapon. You asked that question to Eddie earlier. The stuff that was taken, the way we were trained, the San Antonio Police Department, and any forensic computer guy will tell you that you don't unplug anything from what's plugged into the computer. You simply kill the power source, take everything with you, because they can be programmed to, you pull this, pull that, it automatically wipes the records, blah, blah, blah. So there's nothing nefarious going on. That's what we've been trained.
Do I have an Exhibit 7 yet?
No.
Okay. I'm going to mark as Exhibit 7, document email base labeled as LVO 4201 and 4202, which purports to be an email chain involving Ruben Saucedo, dated May 8, 2018, with the subject line active warrant for Jack Miller, First and Second Amendment auditor, not probable cause.
Okay.
All right, and so this email that you got was actually specific to Jack Miller, right?
Yeah. It says yes. I don't remember it, but yeah, absolutely.
Okay, matter of fact, Saucedo included you on an email
Yeah,
chain
he did. Absolutely.
where the information is, hey, disseminate to your officers about Jack Miller, he open carries.
Yeah, we got this from the Fusion Center, Southwest Texas Fusion Center, and they sent it out to all law enforcement.
Right, and the Fusion Center actually sent that out following your May 4th meeting at the DA's office, right?
They sent it on May 8th. I don't know. So, yeah, if we had a meeting on May 4th, May 8th is subsequent to that, yeah.
And
But we didn't discuss any of this, I can tell you that.
okay. Yeah, so you don't recall the discussion coming up about Jack Miller, Jesus Padilla, and David Bailey at that meeting?
I don't remember any names being utilized at the meeting. I think it was more, this person was arrested for this, y'all rejected it and said this, that's not what the law says, and it was more like that. It was to discuss the cases that had already been filed and been rejected. It wasn't specific to individuals that I can recall.
But it's clear on May 8, 2018, right, based on this email at Exhibit 7, that you all wanted your officers to be aware of Jack Miller as an open carry activist.
No, we want him to be aware that Jack Miller had an active warrant for his arrest. He was, he needed to be picked up.
Let me see that here. Did you expect Jack Miller to go into Leon Valley on May 8, 2018?
No reason to believe he was going to come any day.
Okay, because it says, keep in mind this subject is known to open carry a firearm.
Right, but I didn't write that. It's got nothing to do with me.
And he video records, live streams the encounter with police.
Didn't write that.
So how did you all know that, though?
How do we know that?
Yes.
It's based on this document.
Right.
The Fusion Center sent it to us telling us this stuff is going on. So the San Antonio Police Department sent it out, Southwest Texas Fusion Center, and it was disseminated. That's the expectation when anything comes from the Fusion Center to, send that stuff out.
Okay, so come May 31, 2018, just to clarify, what signs do you think were posted on the second set of doors?
46.03, and it was this places weapons prohibited. This location is places weapons prohibited. Is the signs we took up and took down, because that's a courtroom at the time. So
Okay, and do you know what those signs said? Like
I
specifically
don't.
said?
I know it was in. Now it had 46.03 places weapons prohibited. I don't remember that. I don't remember all the details.
And you think that Rivera would have been able to stop people at the first set of doors?
I didn't say the first set of doors. Second set of doors.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And she told him to not come in. He couldn't come in with a gun, but he kept coming.
Okay, and that's your recollection, though,
That's
right?
my recollection of the video.
So if the video controls.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also want to clarify something. You testified that Anderson made the decision to not arrest Jack Miller because of his reputation, and he was there with 5 other people.
No, what I said was that there was a concern about the amount of people there and the disruption and the fact that he was carrying a weapon, that this could go bad with 150 civilians in there. It's not a good time. It's not a good time and place. And all of us have been taught, and the Supreme Court has ruled, the time and place is for an arrest can be delayed if that's what is needed under the circumstances.
So when Wells escorted Jack Miller out to his vehicle, that would have been a good enough time, right?
No. I mean, there's people coming up and down the sidewalk. They made a determination and they stuck with it.
Okay, and then Jack Miller puts this alleged weapon in his vehicle and then goes back into the municipal building, right?
He put his gun in the vehicle and went back to the municipal building.
Okay, and then he was there surrounded by Anderson.
It wasn't surrounded by Anderson, but yeah, he was there.
Saucedo.
Yeah, at some point I think Saucedo came up.
Wells.
I don't remember if Wells was still there, but I don't know.
Rivera.
Rivera's focused on the door, so.
And then I think somebody actually brought a body-worn camera and set it on the table.
Yeah, I believe that's Brooks.
Okay, so Brooks was there too?
I can't say he stayed during that time period of the complaint. I don't know who all was there.
Okay, and by this point, the lobby was fairly empty.
I don't know what fairly empty means, but there was a lot of people still there.
Okay, and Jack Miller wasn't armed?
That we know of at that point.
And no one decided to arrest him there?
No.
Okay. And no one even asked to inspect what he had holstered?
What he had in his holster?
Yeah, no one even
you
asked
would want
to
to.
inspect.
That's the last thing you'd want, somebody to pull out a gun while you're standing there in the middle of a lobby. That's ridiculous.
But no one actually asked him about it at all?
You'd have to ask them. I can't tell you.
So then, once all the information was taken from the residents, do you recall everything was collected?
I've never seen the inventory sheet.
So before Jack Miller could actually go file his complaint, when he came back in, he had to pass through security, right?
Yes.
And so he would have been wanted?
Yes.
Okay, and so if he had a weapon on him, you all would have figured that out?
We should have. Yeah.
But Jack Miller could be slick, right, and hide it somewhere?
Yeah, there's all kind of incidents where people miss something.
Okay. You never saw an inventory sheet, so how do you know that a weapon, that a Glock was a black Glock was recovered?
I saw it when I went to the house. It was sitting right there next to the sink.
Okay. Who is Basock?
I have no clue.
You had communications with him.
Yeah, he would send information to me. I don't know who he is.
Okay. And there were emails with you and Basoc concerning, quote, the message board. What is that?
Message board?
Yeah.
I have no clue. He lived in that world, the auditor world, and so he was constantly sending stuff to police departments.
Okay, and then I got a random email to you from a phone number. It looks like 817-829-4611. Is that your phone number?
No, it's not.
Can we stop for a second?
Yes.
Excuse me.
Need some water, man? Oh, you got it.
Need to take a break.
Yeah. Just a second.
Yeah, no worries. It's 3:06 p.m. All right, the time is 3:09 p.m. I'll show you what I marked as Exhibit 8. It's labeled LVO 04241. It's an email dated June 24, 2018 from Basoc to Joe Salvaggio. And it mentions
Okay.
it mentions it looks like the individual by the name Basoc
BSOC 53.
is asking you about something you sent on the game message board.
I have no idea what he's talking about. Don't know what that is. The game. And I wouldn't. If y'all got all our emails, you didn't see too many emails back to him. He would just give me information, and there was nothing being shared the other direction. So.
Well, it looked according to this email here, it looks like Basoc was getting a message from you from the game.
Yeah. No, I don't know what that is.
And then he asked you to resend.
And did I resend it?
I don't know what the game is.
I don't either. But if I did something like that, then Leon Valley would have had a record of it, and they would have turned it over to you.
So did you? Well, it took a lot to get what we got.
Yeah.
Did you communicate with anybody about Jack Miller through any other means other than in-person discussions, emails, or text messages or phone calls?
No, I don't even know how to do any other, I don't Twitter, I don't have, any of those platforms. Some of the ones that they use, I can't remember what it's called, but no, I don't have anything and don't know what the game is.
Do you know who pegged Officer Vasquez to write the incident report in this case?
Do not.
Were you aware that you probably heard me mention it during Gonzalez's depo. Were you aware that Vasquez was counseled in March of 2018 for poor report writing?
So what you're not aware of is because he was lazy. He could write a very good report when he wanted to. So he had written some poor reports because he was being lazy. End of the day, wanted to leave early and did not put all the elements. And so that's what he was counseled for. Counsel is a strong word as well. He was retrained, talked to. I don't believe he was ever written up. I didn't see a write-up or anything like that. And I know he was never disciplined by me. So I think it's a mischaracterization of Vasquez not being able to write a report. Vasquez could write really good reports when he wanted to.
Especially if other officers, such as Gonzalez, wrote it for him, right?
No, well, I wouldn't. I mean, I don't know, but you heard him say he didn't, so I would assume he didn't.
Okay. Is that common practice? You said let me back up. You said it's common practice for officers to write affidavits for other officers.
No, I didn't say that. I said it's common practice for them to assist writing an affidavit. That's very common practice.
Okay, but you didn't read King's deposition where he testified.
No, I haven't seen anybody's deposition again.
Okay. So if King testified that he did not write the affidavit, but he signed it, is that a concern for you?
No, actually, it's a concern that if I'd known King would have done that, and he would have said that when I was his chief, he'd be getting disciplined. Because he owns that once he takes it to a judge and gets it signed. Don't matter who typed it, that's irrelevant. What matters is the person who takes it from the judge and the person that executes it is then responsible for that warrant the entire time. So it doesn't matter. He could have written word for word, but King owns it. So that's on King. If King tried to disparage Eddie or pointing fingers back to Eddie as somehow forcing him to do that, that's ludicrous. He's a grown-ass man, and he could have said, no, I'm not going to do that, if that's what occurred, which I doubt very seriously that's what occurred. The officers had the autonomy to say no, had autonomy to speak up, and if there was any issues, they had autonomy to bring it to my attention, and none of that ever happened.
And then anytime, okay, so who arrested Jack Miller?
I physically arrested him? I don't know. I never saw it.
You weren't in the driveway when Jack Miller was out there?
When they brought him out in handcuffs, that doesn't mean he's the one that arrested him. A lot of times, the person who puts handcuffs on him then passes him to somebody else, who passes him to somebody else, who takes him outside. So in fact, the first person he was with, I believe, was a Kirby officer initially. Then he got passed. The next time I saw him, I don't know, I saw him with Griego. So I don't know who arrested him, put handcuffs on him and all that.
Okay, so when's the first time you saw Jack Miller on May 31, 2018?
When in the driveway.
When he was brought out in handcuffs.
He was actually arrested. Now that I think about it, he was put in cuffs by Kirby PD at his car because we didn't want to hit the house. We didn't want to make a hard entry. And so we did a ruse to get him to come out, and it worked. It worked very well. He came out and then was talking about his vehicle being burglarized, and he went to start searching through his vehicle. And then when the officers came up, they bypassed Jack altogether and went inside the house. There was Kirby officers that started cuffing him, now that I think about it.
Okay, and are you certain, or is that just based on what you're remembering right now?
Well, everything's based on what I'm remembering right now, 5 years later.
What color did you understand the Glock to be?
If I recall, it was a black Glock. We also found a black and beige Glock as well in the house.
So I'm going to show you what Spade's labeled as LVO 16.
Yes, sir.
Is this the picture of the Glock you recall seeing on the kitchen counter?
I don't remember seeing a picture. I remember seeing the Glock on the counter.
Well, the Glock. Is that the Glock you saw on the counter?
Yes.
Okay, and that's not an all-black Glock either.
Yes, it is. Yeah, that slide is black. It's just worn off. He hasn't taken care of his gun. Shame on him.
Oh, you think that's worn off there?
Yeah, that's not a...
Okay.
That's... He's not cleaning his gun properly.
Okay, so would it surprise you if Rivera testified that was not the same weapon she saw him with earlier in the day?
Yeah, I'd be surprised, but no, I don't know. I don't know what she testified, and I don't know.
Okay, did anyone tell you that... what's that? You got the video.
I believe Jack started screaming something about a gun right inside the kitchen. He started screaming that somebody screamed about a gun just inside the door and about there being children in the room. I'm not sure who that was.
But you all construe Jack Miller as a liar, right? So it didn't matter.
I think Jack even knows he's a liar. I don't have to construe nothing.
Okay, did anyone tell you, as far as you knew, as to whether the weapon, any of the weapons taken from Jack Miller's residence, matched the description of the weapon that they thought he had earlier in the day?
No, but I can tell you that matches the description of what they thought he had earlier in the day, just based on the description. A black Glock semi-automatic.
Okay, and you think the photo I just showed you is a black Glock?
Absolutely.
Okay. And did you see any of the video? Let me back up. So all the device, phones, GoPros, SD cards, computer devices were taken, right?
Correct.
And you all had all this information extracted from those devices.
Yes, one of the detectives did. I'm not sure who.
Okay. Did you watch any of the videos or the images or anything?
Some of the things were brought to me to like the text messages that Jack sent to somebody saying, "I just took my gun in to the building." They showed me that because that was pretty damning evidence. The video of him, his body cam video, where he said they made me leave with my gun. Those things they showed me. But I didn't watch all his stuff. I don't have the time to do that.
Okay, so you watched his body camera video. Did you see in the video where you can clearly see the slide or the apparent area of the slide on his weapon that he had?
No, because the slide is within the holster.
Okay, so you didn't.
I would
see it
think.
then?
No, I didn't see it. I never purported to see it.
Okay, and you also didn't watch the entire video of Jack Miller's camera.
I don't know whether it was start to finish. I don't know how long that video was. So I don't know.
Okay.
You know.
So the key point I want to get at pretty simply is prior to May 31, 2018, you already knew who Jack Miller was.
I knew Jack through the intelligence bulletins that have been spread about him, about his criminal activity.
And it's clear that Saucedo also knew who he was.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's also clear that Lieutenant Anderson knew who he was.
If you say so. I mean, that'd be better answered by Lieutenant Anderson. What you showed me earlier was something from Ruben Saucedo, so I can say definitely he knew. Okay. But I don't know.
And so Wells did as well, right? Wells escorted him out.
Yeah, but whether he knew who he was prior to that, I can't say.
And did you know that there was a bulletin that situational awareness bulletin was sitting at the security table?
No, I didn't. That's cool.
You didn't know that?
No, that's good.
Okay. And did you pay all the officers that stayed on May 31, 2018? Did you end up paying them overtime?
Yes, we did.
Okay. And
well, let me back that up. Sometimes, like the detectives they don't want the overtime. They'd rather flex their hours and not come in the next day or something along those lines. So without documents in front of me, I can't say that all of them got paid overtime. Like Keem normally did not want to work overtime. He wanted to, be off more than he wanted to work. Very likely he might have not turned overtime, but we let him off on a different day.
Okay, and you were also aware of open carry activists previously in Olmos Park, right?
Correct.
And you were aware of Jack Miller, I guess, maybe being tied as an open carry activist.
I wouldn't say Jack by name. I wouldn't say Jack by name. I would say that I was aware that had occurred, but to say Jack by name, I can't. Yeah, I know I forwarded the PowerPoint and an intel bulletin, but I couldn't remember name by name who was on there.
And so the first words to Jack Miller in the driveway were, "Remember me from the Bexar County days."
No, I didn't. I said I remember you from the Bexar County days.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, because he used to drive the wagon before he got in trouble and wrecked it.
So the first thing you said to him was, "I remember you from the Bexar County days."
Yes.
And then you started.
Then I said, "I used to feel sorry for you because you got fired," and I did. I don't like seeing anybody get fired. He resigned in lieu of termination, so it was heartfelt. I really felt bad for him. You don't see me calling him any names like Jack liked to do to me and all of us that day. Besides laughing at him, that was pretty much it.
You wanted to use the force of your department to send a message to Jack Miller and his family, right?
No, that's absurd.
How
He
is-
broke the law. He broke the law, and he's like everybody else, going to be held for breaking the law. That's exactly what it was. If he wouldn't have come to Leon Valley and broke the law, we'd have never dealt with Jack. Nobody was going to Jack's house, just running around. Jack came to Leon Valley and broke the law.
So Rivera did not make a decision to arrest Jack Miller, right?
It wouldn't be Rivera's decision.
She saw him allegedly.
It would not, and her role in that police department and her duties that day, it would not be her responsibility.
Okay, Wells did not make a decision to arrest
He
him.
made the determination to get him out of the building. That was his number one goal.
And then you have, who was your captain at the time? Saucedo?
If he was a captain, he was a captain. I don't know. I thought he was the deputy chief by then.
Okay, maybe that's what it is. So what's the rank of a deputy chief?
The son of the chief.
Okay, so it was you, deputy chief, which is Saucedo at the time. Who else? Was there another deputy chief?
I was not there, first off.
Well, I'm trying to figure out the chain of command.
Okay, chain of command. No, it's me, Deputy Chief Saucedo, and then the two lieutenants, which one of them was Anderson, and then
Okay.
the sergeants.
So Anderson was over the CID department.
Correct.
Okay, and it's your understanding that Anderson was the one who made a decision to execute, I guess, the search and arrest warrant?
Correct.
Okay, and that decision was made without any discussions with you?
Correct. Absolutely. He told me what they decided to do, but
Okay.
it was already after they were going to get the warrant, if I remember correctly. And that's the norm. They're not. I'm not the one who tells them how to do their job. That would be micromanaging.
So what discussions did you have prior to May 31, 2018 about Jack Miller with Anderson?
I don't think I had discussions with Anderson. I might have come back and talked to everybody about what was when I sent that email out, because normally I'd go to roll call and let them know what happened in the Chiefs meeting. I can't say he was there, so I can't really recall having a one-on-one direct conversation with Anderson about Jack Miller. He's not that important in our lives.
Right. So when you were at Jack Miller's residence, who was responsible for the scene?
And I heard Eddie earlier say lieutenant, but it's really not the lieutenant. It is King. He's the guy who owns the warrant. He's the guy that directs everybody. He's the guy that assigns the evidence collection person. So all of those things are done by King. That's his role as the person that's in charge of that warrant. Everybody else there has a supporting role to him.
Who came up with the operations plan?
I heard Brooks did, but that's the first I'd heard of that. I didn't know who did.
Who did you think did?
Didn't matter. That's one of the things that King would have said. I need you to do an ops plan. I need you to do draw on the board the ops plan. I need you to do this, that, and the other.
Well, you met at Kirby PD, right?
Yeah, I went there. But everybody was already there, and they'd already started the briefing.
Okay, and you didn't provide any input at all?
Not that I can recall.
Okay, you were just there because you wanted to, I guess, talk crap to Jack Miller about Bexar County.
Did I testify that I wanted to go there to talk crap?
Well,
you just want to say stupid stuff?
No, you went there and you spoke at him, right?
No, I went there to secure the exterior of the house, the front side of the house. We sent people to the back side of the house. So we were there. We all had a purpose. It wasn't about mistreating Jack, even though he was mistreating us. It wasn't about doing anything to Jack except making the arrest and searching for the stuff that there was evidence in his crime.
So what was the reason for your dialogue with Jack Miller outside the house and then inside the house?
Dialogue started when he started talking to me. If he wouldn't have started talking to me, I'd have never said a word. In fact, if you look at the video, most of the time I stood even right beside him and never said a word to Jack. I had no need to talk to Jack. Jack would address me, and then I would say something back to Jack.
And then you also made it a point, too, that anytime Jack Miller posted videos or sent communications, you would forward that information to other law enforcement agencies, right?
I don't recall whether or not I was posting or I wasn't watching Jack's video. I can tell you that. If I got something from BASOC or if I got something from somebody else telling me and it was germane to everybody, then yeah, just like we all would. That's what the purpose of the Chiefs meeting is to pass information along to everybody. It's not just about Jack. If you got a whole bunch of my emails, you'll see that stuff is passed on for a lot of stuff, not just Jack.
Okay, and then you also sent information on to Jay Norton.
Yes.
Who is Jay Norton?
He was in the DA's office.
Okay, and did you have discussions with Andrew Fields as well?
I don't know if that's his name. I can't. We were assigned all of the people that went to that meeting. They assigned one or two prosecutors to go back and look at all the cases, and I believe Andrew Fields was one of those attorneys. I can't say for sure.
And you also had discussions with I guess folks from the OAG, the Attorney General's office, about Jack Miller as well.
I know I might have had a discussion about what he was claiming about this whole bizarre multi-use facility that doesn't exist according to the Attorney General's office. And I had a conversation with them, and they said, no, absolutely not. It's not been ruled on. There has been a complaint been made along those lines, but it had not been ruled on at that time.
Okay, and then you were, I guess, is it fair to say you were keeping tabs on Jack Miller?
No, not me.
So you had individuals such as Kevin Boyes, Bois.
He's a chief.
Okay, former chief, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Of City of Kirby.
Correct.
And he sent you information about Jack Miller wanting to get a custom badge at a gun show.
He might have.
That said police educator.
Did he send it just to me or to everybody?
I'm asking if he sent that to you.
Well, if you'd like to show it to me, I'll be able to say. I don't recall, but it very well could have.
And would you have sent that information to Andrew Fields?
Could have. I don't know.
Why would you send information to Andrew Fields?
Because he's the person that's handling the cases that were involved in the different crimes.
Okay. Do you think it would be? Were you trying to? You think by sending this communication, you were trying to hope that it would help with the charges against Jack Miller?
Absolutely not.
So why would you do it?
Because we're forwarding anything we get about the people that have been accused of crimes. Every bit of it goes to them and the FBI.
Okay, who internally were you talking to when you needed a update about the Jack Miller case?
If you have something, that's a very vague question there, Counselor. If you got something you'd like me to look at, please.
No, I'm asking you internally. If you wanted to know, who would you speak to? Would it be King? Would it be Anderson? Would it be both?
Yeah, it'd probably be Anderson, but I don't remember, hey, give me an update on this, that, or the other. If they had an update, they might tell me, because the ICRs would go straight to the detective or straight to the lieutenant. He might get it before the detective, and I didn't get it as part of what the DA's office routine process is. So they might come to me and tell me this is what happened.
So you knew in this case, the criminal case at least, that Jack Miller's position from the beginning was that the gun was fake.
I did not know that from the beginning.
When did you learn that?
I still don't believe it was fake.
But you knew that was Jack Miller's position, right?
I knew that. Yeah, I knew that was probably during the evidence hearing when he tried to suppress the evidence, and it was found that it was evidence was solid of his crime.
But it was dismissed for insufficient evidence.
Not in that hearing, not in that hearing at all. Were you there? No, sir.
The
I
case
was.
was dismissed. We talked about that.
The case being dismissed has nothing to do with it. The fact is, the evidentiary hearing showed that evidence was good evidence. Period.
So if this was King's case, or at some point Anderson was the one to make a decision to arrest Jack Miller originally, why did you step in and decide that you wanted to have the charges refiled?
I don't know that I stepped in. I was advised by the DA's office. I don't know if it was Fields or who told me, hey, this is what's going on with this case and this is what we need. And so I came back and said, hey, we need to get these items to refile this case. Case wasn't dismissed, like with prejudice or anything like that. It was just, hey, these are the things that we find as insufficient evidence and we need to have fixed. And all the chiefs met with the DA's office once a month. So having a conversation with the DA's office was just the norm.
Well, there was that interesting, I guess, several hour meetings
No, we did.
specifically, right?
I wouldn't say several hours, but probably a good hour.
Okay, and then you also did you attend FBI meetings about Jack Miller?
No.
About, I guess, auditors.
About auditors. I don't believe Jack Miller was discussed at all.
Okay. All right, let me. All right, time's 3:33. Let's take a 10-minute break. Time is 3:43 p.m. Let's go back. Normally I ask this in the beginning, but keep forgetting to do that. You left Leon Valley when?
March, I believe it was March 3rd or March 5th of 2001.
Okay. 2021?
2021.
Okay. And where do you go after that?
Was contracting work.
Okay. With who?
Myself, contractor.
Okay. Did you start like a company or?
Personal. I wouldn't say a company, but just doing personal contract work.
Like a DBA?
Yeah, no DBA.
What kind of contract work?
Either city management or law enforcement management type stuff.
Okay. And how long did you do that for?
I still do that now.
Okay. Are you doing any other kind of work?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Does the contract work require you to have your, I guess, peace officer license, or is that something different?
No, it's something different.
Okay. I'm going to show you, it's a 4-minute clip. And what I want you to do is 4 minutes, 31 seconds. What I want you to do is we'll pause the video. You tell me to pause it when you can identify any one of these 5 individuals you thought was present with Jack Miller on May 31, 2018. Okay?
If you want to waste your time doing it, what I told you is that the one I could see was Dowd in there. Whatever his name was. The skinny guy that was up against the wall. That's the one I could see. He went to his car on one of his videos and was talking to somebody in the car. So that would have been 2. The other people are the ones who said that there was one person. I can't remember who it was. There was up to 5 people in there.
Okay.
That's what I told you earlier as well.
So the decision, let's clarify that, because
Okay.
I think we're kind of all over the place. I just want to make it extremely clear. So my understanding of your testimony today is that Anderson relayed to you that he decided not to arrest Jack Miller on the spot because of his something about reputation or violence.
No, I said all those things can be taken into account. Those are all things that can be taken into account and are taken into account when the decision is made to arrest. That's what I said. Anderson didn't say anything. He said, I made the decision not to arrest at this time. But we're going to run a warrant on his arrest warrant and search warrant.
Okay, did you have any information on May 31, 2018 to think that Jack Miller was violent?
Me personally, no. I mean, I can't remember. There was, on one of the almost park arrests, there was some resisting arrest and fighting and struggling, but I can't say for sure that was Jack. I don't remember who it was. It was just that one video that was shown that one time at the Chiefs meeting. So yeah, some of his, if it wasn't him, some of his disciples definitely are, according to that video, were violent that day.
So on May, and let me clarify, May 31, 2018.
Yeah, I already said no.
Okay. No.
I can't say it was Jack. I don't know.
Well, I'm not. I just want. Okay, so you were not aware, because obviously you knew who Jack Miller was on May 31, 2018 before his visit.
Right.
Did you have any information to think he was a violent person?
No, I have information that he carries weapons.
Okay.
Which would be in the same category of somebody being violent.
Okay.
When you run a search warrant.
Okay, so if somebody carries weapons, you construe them as being violent?
I didn't say that. I said it's the same level of need for security and advanced security, basically, when you're making entry. When you know there's weapons in the house, When you know somebody's trained to use weapons, it's no different than somebody who's been violent in the past.
I'm not talking about at Jack Miller's residence. Okay, let me clarify that. I'm talking about at the time Jack Miller walked in to the municipal building. Okay. Were you aware of any information of him being violent at that point?
No.
Okay.
No.
And generally, in the state of Texas, on May 31, 2018, was it against the law to openly carry a pistol?
If you're not authorized to do that, yes, it's against the law.
Okay, but because you would have to have a license to carry.
Correct.
Did you understand if Jack Miller had one or not?
He had one at one time. It got revoked. I think it's been revoked a couple of times, but none of that's really relevant. What was relevant was he brought the gun into the court area.
Well, what you were told was a gun, right?
Yes.
But no one actually knew if it could shoot a projectile or not.
I think shooting a projectile, like I said earlier, is irrelevant. What's relevant is the weapon is designed to shoot a projectile. And all four of them believed that was a gun. Nobody ever said, hey, I don't know, I think it might be a fake gun. Nothing like that. All of them said the same thing. And to this day, they say the same thing. It was a gun.
Well, you say they say the same thing, but you obviously didn't see their testimony.
They didn't testify that it was a gun?
Well, you're talking about how Rivera told you it was a Glock, and
yeah,
other people
but did she
told you
testify it was a gun? She testified it was a gun. You said that earlier.
But you're talking about a specific.
I didn't say Glock.
People told you
that he had a gun.
Okay, that's different.
Well, different than what? I'm saying 4 people testified, or 4 people told me that he had a gun with him, and we're 100% sure it was a gun, not a fake gun, a gun.
Okay, once everyone, and then he left, and there was a complaint he filed. He came back, filed a complaint, right?
Yes.
What did you do with that complaint?
There's nothing to do with the complaint. What he was arguing with 30-6 and 30-7 signs was irrelevant to what the incident occurred. What was relevant to the incident that occurred was he brought a gun, placed his weapons prohibited into a courtroom or an area that's essential to the court.
What did you do with Jack Miller's complaint?
Nothing. There's nothing to do. There's nothing to do with that. That was not a complaint. There's no complaint that he has or had to this day that even the AG's office has said you're wrong for doing this.
So do you throw the complaint away?
No, it was maintained.
Did you send it to anybody?
There's nobody to send it to. It's my decision.
Okay, so you received Jack Miller's complaint on that day, right? May 31, 2018?
I can't say I received it that day, but Lieutenant Anderson received it that day for sure.
And
I don't think I was given that day.
Okay, but you knew he was there to file a complaint. That was its whole purpose for being there.
It wasn't his whole purpose. It was one of his purposes.
Okay.
The other one was, and he said it in his video previous to that, the other one was, I think I'm going to go there and test the limits of that law.
Okay, and so when you went to the Jack Miller residence, do you recall making a comment to the effect of, thank you for visiting Leon Valley?
Yeah, thank you, because you just provided all the evidence of your criminal activity. Absolutely.
Because you were ticked off that you filed a complaint.
Absolutely not. I hadn't even seen the complaint by then. I never seen the complaint by the time that warrant was done. That was the last of our worries at that point. What the worries were is filing criminal charges against Jack for his crime. There was no ticked off about nothing. I didn't have anything personal against Jack until he started making lies to the community about my wife. That's about the only thing.
And so do you see how this seems odd, how the decision to arrest Jack Miller doesn't happen until after you were notified that Jack Miller was present in Leon Valley? Do you see how that looks odd?
Say that again.
No one arrested Jack Miller while he was at Leon Valley on May 31, 2018.
Okay.
Once you are told about it, and you are paying officers either overtime or flex time, but once you are informed, next thing that happens is you are showing up with 7 of your Leon Valley police officers at Jack Miller's residence. Don't you see how that looks odd?
It may look odd to you the way you're trying to construe it, but we can't walk in from immediately afterwards going to hit his house. For one, he wasn't even there. So to say it was odd, no, it's not odd. Not odd at all. He committed a crime. We went and got an arrest warrant. We had a judge look at it. The judge says, yes, there's probable cause to make this arrest. Sign the warrant, and we executed it.
And that was based on an affidavit that said you all knew for a fact he had a gun, right?
It said that he brought a gun into the courtroom.
Right, but no one...
Area essential of the court.
But it didn't say we thought it was a gun.
Because they didn't think so. They were sure that was a gun. You might not be a gun guy, but for gun guys,
you
they
must
see.
not know me.
I don't know you. I don't. But obviously, you can tell a difference between a fake gun and a real gun.
Exactly.
And all of them said it's a real gun. Exactly.
But not to you.
No, I didn't have. Not to me. I overheard them, and they told me since. But to me, is not relevant. It's not relevant that they're talking to me. I'm not the person making the decisions on whether or not somebody gets arrested or not. It's got no bearing with me.
Well, that's what you're saying today, right?
That's what I say any day. I'm not trying to protect me. You're not taking nothing out of my pocket. No, it's nothing about protecting me. It's fact. Not the way you're trying to construe it. These are facts.
Well, when the charges were dismissed, you wanted them refiled, right?
The DA's office told me, if you want to refile these are the things you need to bring. And that's what we did.
Did they tell you that in person? Because I'm not seeing them in any of the 20,000 emails.
It was either in person or on the phone. No, I never got an email on that.
Okay, would that have been in response to you sending a text message to the DA's office expressing frustration about them dismissing the charges?
I can't tell you that I did that. Neither can you. You're showing me something that's been cleaned of all phone numbers and names.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Obviously, Bexar County can speak to that if you can.
Well, then obviously you can't and I can't because we don't know what it is.
Well, I know what it is.
Okay.
And I'm asking you, you don't recall doing that at all?
Again, about the fifth time, the answer is no.
So were you upset that the
I
charges...
was never upset about anything.
You were never upset?
Never upset about anything with Jack. I mean, that's absurd.
Okay.
We expect charges to be dropped by this district attorney.
All right.
And that's the way it is in all DA's offices.
So I'm going to show you...
If you get a case to go to trial, you are a very lucky man these days.
All right, I'm going to show you, it's base labeled as J. Miller 78. It's labeled Jack's Chess GoPro Part 1. It is 4 minutes, 31 seconds. Go ahead, just take a second to watch that, please. What's their volume?
Can you put this up? Hold on a second.
Hold on, no.
All right, look, I don't want to break your shit. Can you put that up so I can...
Hold it?
No, I don't want to hold it.
See how this works.
Just had shoulder surgery.
Why does this thing fall off every time?
No, backwards.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Supposed to be some kind of magnet that works on that. Here we go. Maybe that works. I think you can change that. All right, so I'm pausing here at 14 seconds. You see that Rivera is talking to someone else right now, right?
Yes.
All right. Do you think that person is involved at all with Jack Miller?
I have no clue.
Okay. But Rivera did not tell Jack Miller at this point to get out.
Not according to this video.
Okay, matter of fact, Jack Miller was actually just patiently waiting behind this person, right?
I don't know. I don't see Jack Miller.
Well, Jack Miller is holding the camera.
I have no idea if he's holding the camera or not.
All right, well, the camera's not going past security, is it?
I don't know whether or not he's past security or not. The front door, the doors are where security's at.
Okay.
That's the key, is the doors.
Okay, but so...
She's right inside the door. So normally, from where she sits, normally, two people couldn't be standing in that same area because you don't want that. So you only want one person to be dealt with at a time.
But
So
you don't see any doors here.
I don't see anything on the other side.
Okay.
Which is why my concern is about...
I have a question. What is
Department, city manager. That's why they're out of control.
Court,
Yes, sir.
animal control.
Police
It's not
department.
just the courthouse, right?
No, it's not just the department.
Who can I talk to about your 30-6, 30-7 signs?
Well, who do you want to speak to?
They're a violation of chapters 7 and 11 of the government code. They're a violation of the government code to have these up. You guys can prohibit weapons, but you can't put those signs up.
Okay, give me 1 minute. I'll be back.
Can you stop him? Right there, he's past security where he's going over there to the right, first off. But second of all, the issue of he actually says exactly what we did. You can keep people out of here for prohibited weapons, but not for 30-6, 30-7. He just said that to her.
Okay, did so we paused for the record at 54 seconds in.
Right.
Did you hear Rivera say at any point that Jack Miller needed to leave?
No, not that point.
As a matter of fact, she said just wait right here.
Right.
And
he didn't do that.
Oh, he did? Okay, let's
No, I mean, that's not the same frame where he was at. He moved over here to the right.
to get out of the way.
To get out of the way of the door. That's where he was.
So let's resume playing at the 54
Right.
second mark.
It's at a completely different angle than he was before.
So I'm stopping at the 57 mark. You said there's not enough room for more than two people to be in that way, right?
It shouldn't be. So these people coming in should not be doing that. You're right.
So Jack Miller got out of the way so these 4 individuals could get in, right?
Jack Miller was told to wait right there, and he should not have moved from that location. He should not have gone further into the building, especially when you see this one of the signs to the left there. It says the 46.03 signs.
Oh, that's not what that says.
One of those signs talks about the prohibited weapons as well.
Are you saying that sign right here in this video?
I can't remember if it's that one or I believe that one has some information on it, but it could be another one to the left. I don't know.
Okay.
But there normally are signs put up there at that point.
But the signs you're referring to are not visible in this frame, right?
I can't say that because I don't know what that sign says. But what I will say is he mentioned that it was court. He mentioned that we can restrict it during court, but yet he continued to come in. That's not too bright.
And there's a security checkpoint, right, where she's stopping people from going past.
That he didn't stop at. He kept going.
Okay, well, let's keep watching. That's obviously your opinion. Video speaks for
Well,
itself.
the video speaks for itself. He was standing over here facing her. Now he's over here facing her.
All right,
He
there
did
was
not stay right there.
There's not a question presented. All right, I'm going to start at 57 seconds.
Give me 1 minute, okay?
You don't have to stop what you're doing. You take care of what you're doing, and I got plenty of time. Okay, no rush.
All right, stop at 1 minute 6 seconds. So she was going to stop what she was doing, right, with all these people here. Jack Miller said, I can wait. And what did she do? She continued helping, right?
Yeah, this girl's overwhelmed completely with the gun and with the guy filming to the right and everything else. So yeah,
That's your speculation.
no, that's what she said to me.
Where?
I was completely confused and everything else. That's why she went to go get Jimmy.
Okay, so
to let Jimmy handle that.
You keep saying she spoke to you. When did she speak with you? Because her deposition is completely different.
Her deposition said she never talked to me.
Right, about this. So tell me.
She said she never talked to Chief Salvaggio about this.
When did you speak with her?
I spoke to her that day. I spoke to her multiple times after that.
Okay, really? On May 31?
I talked to her that day.
Okay, so she didn't get paid overtime on May 31.
No, because she wasn't helping with the search warrant. She didn't have the capability to do that. She'd never been involved.
So when did you talk to her?
Can't tell you what time, but it was before we left to go do the search warrant. And I said, "Are you sure that it was a gun?" She said, "Absolutely, it was a Glock."
But you had no involvement in the search warrant.
No.
But you are now testifying that you talked to her and you said, "Are you sure it was a gun?"
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Is it interesting? You didn't write any incident report
I wrote a report.
for this?
I wrote a report for this,
Okay.
detailing my involvement.
All right. We'll look into that. And does your report detail your conversation with Officer Rivera?
No, it detailed the actions I took that day, so that her and I having a casual conversation. It's not an interview. It's not an interrogation or anything like that. It's just us talking as to what she saw.
Okay. So you talking to Officer Rivera about, are you sure he had a gun? That you consider that just a casual conversation?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it wasn't important to put in any report?
I didn't say that. I said as part of this investigation, that is not relevant to anything that I was doing. What's relevant is the search warrant and the arrest warrant and the weapon that was involved and Jack.
Okay, because is there some concern that you thought maybe Jack Miller didn't go in there with the gun?
No, there was never a concern about that. I had 4 people saying he had a gun. No. None whatsoever.
So why did you have to ask Officer Rivera, allegedly?
I didn't have to ask anything. I did when she said what it was, and I said, "Are you sure?" And she said, "Yes."
And I think you did maybe a phone gesture. Did you call her on the phone and ask her?
No.
How you talked to her face to face?
Yeah, face to
What
face.
time was that at?
I told you again. I don't know. It was before the search warrant was run.
Was it in the lobby?
No. It was. It had to be after court was over because she was in the hallway, and that's where I talked to her outside of my office.
Is there video of that hallway?
No.
Was there a surveillance camera there?
No.
Okay. What time does court get over?
It depends. It could be 4:30. It could be 8:30.
Okay. I'm going to resume playing at 1 minute 6 seconds. All right, I'm stopping at 1 minute 13 seconds. Officer Rivera just walked away, didn't she?
Yes.
And so, according to you, at this point, Jack Miller is armed and just committed a felony, right?
Yeah.
And the one security person just walked away and left him unattended.
She had much of a choice. Nobody else around.
She didn't have a radio?
If she did, she didn't use it. I don't see one on her. She didn't have a body cam, so probably she didn't have a radio either. But this is why Jack and his merry followers pick on small departments, because you just don't have the manpower to deal with the chaos that they bring.
Okay, and so no one in this image appears to be concerned whatsoever with Jack Miller's presence.
She looked like she was very concerned about Jack Miller's presence.
She left him there by himself.
She still looks like she's very concerned about Jack Miller's presence.
But once you get notified, all of a sudden we're talking about executing a midnight raid on his home.
Where was that said? That it started when I got notified. You're just making stuff up.
Well, no, because Anderson watched Jack Miller make the complaint, right?
Anderson saw whatever Anderson saw, but
and you saw in video Anderson and Jack Miller shaking hands.
Not before the warrant was done. I didn't see any of that. All that stuff came off of Jack's GoPro.
Right, but you saw them shaking hands
after the fact. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So,
but you said that all this happened after I was notified. That's crazy.
Well, Rivera,
I had nothing to do with the decision on the warrant. You can be told that 1,000 times. You're still not going to listen.
And I understand. Yeah. So, Jack Miller has a cordial conversation with Rivera, right?
If you want to call it cordial, he should have left when she said you can't bring the gun in.
When did she say that?
Whenever because I've heard her say you can't bring a gun in. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay. But up to this point, she didn't tell him that, right?
She shouldn't have to tell him. Like he said, he knew it was a court area. He says that, and he's bringing a gun into the court, and he said you can restrict that.
He didn't pass security.
But he did. That law says, it says the door. It says the entry to the premise is what the law says. The entry to the premise is what the law says.
Okay, so let me.
It's got nothing to do with where the security sits.
All right, but let me just go back to what my question was. Up to this point, Rivera did not tell him to leave.
No,
right?
I don't think so. I thought she said something about. Well, keep going. I don't think I've heard that yet.
Okay, and then when you see later, I guess the GoPro video, you see Miller shake hands with Anderson, right?
I don't remember that, but probably.
Oh, now you don't remember that?
You'd have to show me the video.
Okay.
I mean, this is 5 years ago. You're acting like it was yesterday.
Well, it's funny how you remember specific things, except
things that are relevant.
You know,
it's not relevant to his crime of shaking our hands.
Well, because it shows that he was free to leave. No one accused him of a crime. Nobody stopped him. Nobody detained him. It was only after you were notified.
There you go again.
No,
there you go again. It's not. That's absurd. Like I told you before, I was in meetings all day. I had no play of what was going on and no decision making of what's going on.
No decision making.
No, and you even heard Sergeant Gonzalez say that as well. And if you bring in Lieutenant Anderson, he's going to tell you the same thing. I made the decision. In fact, I think his report if I remember correctly, said something about I made the decision.
Well, nobody knows who wrote those reports because
Come
apparently
on.
people are ghostwriting for other
Come
people.
on, you know better.
Is there how do people write reports? What system did y'all use?
They could either the detectives. I can't remember the name of the system, but there was two different systems we'd used in the past. The detectives would use just regular writing a hard copy report.
Okay, I'm gonna keep playing so we can get through this. It's 1 minute 13 seconds.
That's way past security right there. That's way past security.
All right, show me
Yeah.
the signs that says way past security here.
Well, I mean, you're the one that's saying security is a big issue, but the security is way over to the left. He's way over here to the wall where the restrooms are, making comments. I mean, to say he hasn't passed security right there is ludicrous.
Yeah, did he step forward?
He stepped forward and to the right, probably 10, 15 steps easy.
10, 15
He's
steps.
way
All right,
past security.
Video speaks for itself. We'll keep playing.
Yeah,
at 1 minute
absolutely.
31
I agree it
seconds.
does.
Yeah, I just need to talk to somebody about it. That's all. The 30-06, 30-07 signs. You got.
All right, I'm stopping at 1 minute 42 seconds. Who's the individual speaking?
Jimmy Wells.
Okay.
Guys can prohibit weapons in here. You can tell me, get out, we don't allow guns in here. But the 30-06, 30-07 signs, y'all may not be aware of this, and I'm here to make y'all aware of it. They're illegal. They're a violation of Chapter 711 of the Government Code. The way it works is that you guys can take them down or leave them up. If you leave them up, and I file a complaint with the AG, they'll tell you to take them down. They'll give you 10 days to do that. So can we get them taken down without
Go ahead and do that. Go and step outside with your gun. Okay?
He didn't say fake gun. He said step outside with your gun.
Right. So, 2 minutes 14 seconds. What you're referencing, you're quoting
What he just said.
What Wells said to Jack Miller, right?
Correct.
And immediately after Wells said step outside, what did Jack Miller do?
I would assume you're going to keep going. He'll step outside.
Okay, so he listened to what Wells said.
Correct. You can't have a gun in here.
He asked him to step outside.
Step outside. You can't have a gun in here. I didn't hear Jack say that's a fake gun. It's not a real gun.
Well, but if Wells really was concerned, he could have detained and done a Terry stop on Jack Miller at this point, right?
He could have, but
well, actually, no. According to you, Wells could have arrested him for a felony right there.
yeah, he did. He sure could. He sure could have.
But nobody thought of that until they talked
He didn't.
to you.
He didn't. He decided not to do it. No, it was nothing to do with talking to me. Again, you keep saying that. You can beat that to the table all you want, but it had nothing to do with talking to me.
Well, we intend
that decision. Well, you intend to do that, but it's wrong. Lieutenant Anderson's even said in his report that he made the decision. These guys made a decision, and I backed that decision.
Did you write Anderson's report?
You know, I don't write anybody's reports. That's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous accusation.
Do you think there's something wrong with writing someone else's stuff?
Objection form.
I don't think anybody wrote anybody else's stuff.
I'm just asking, do you think it's wrong?
For people to write other people's stuff and try to pass it off to someone else, that'd be wrong.
Okay.
That's not what happened here.
Did you watch Anderson write his report?
I think I did. I think I saw him parts of it. It wasn't that day. And that's the other thing. You keep talking about, all these reports being written that day. Nobody wrote the reports that day. The detectives, the sergeant, the lieutenant, those reports, I think Eddie Gonzalez even said he came in on Friday and wrote his reports. Those reports weren't written by the time this search warrant was run.
Okay, so if the affidavit references reviewing incident reports, that'd be wrong?
Reviewing incident reports?
Yeah.
I've never seen the affidavit, so I don't know what he's talking about of incident reports.
So you don't think people stayed and wrote reports on May 31, 2018?
They may, but I know that the normal practice for a detective, a sergeant, or lieutenant would be to write it the next day. That's the normal practice.
Okay, so it would be out of practice if officers or detectives or sergeants wrote a report on May 31, 2018?
It's not usually the norm, especially because they're not even finished with their actions that day till they finish the warrant, which was the following day. So I'd just say it wouldn't be the norm.
All right, I'm going to show you. It's I'm marking as Exhibit 9. It's Bates LVO 169 and 170. Take a look at that.
Okay.
All right, what is I'm showing you Anderson's supplement, right?
Yeah, that date is to show that that's the date that it occurred. That's the date of the offense.
Well, the narrative says what the date of the offense is, right?
That says it as well.
Okay, so the date on the upper right-hand corner next to supplement report, you're saying that's the date of offense?
Yeah, I would think that that's the date of the offense. I can't say whether he did that or not.
So
I will tell you this, that he may have wrote this because you don't see any information on what he did during the search warrant. So that means he had to write a second report, which is not the norm. Normally, you don't do a report until everything is complete. So it could be that he wrote that evening because there was a lot of downtime while they were going through writing the reports. But
and you didn't see Anderson write that report, right?
yeah, I can't say I did or not.
Okay, so it's possible anyone could have written that.
Objection form.
No, it's not. That's not possible.
It's not possible.
No.
Why is it not possible?
Well, because his signature's right there on top saying he wrote it. So
Well-
I would say it's not possible.
His signature, he signed something saying he wrote it?
Right up top says that's his report.
Where does it say
It
that?
says
Point that out.
DA right there on the from line. That's who it's from. From meaning this is my report.
Where does it say I wrote this report?
Oh, that's absurd, dude.
Where does it say it?
That's if he signs it. This is his report. Period. To act like it's not his report wouldn't be the norm. That's all I can tell you.
Okay. But it's also not the norm to write the report on May 31, 2018.
No, it's not. But it looks like he did, meaning he had to wrote a second report that details his actions, and that's not the norm.
So there's a lot of stuff outside the norm here.
Yeah, he was getting, I don't know what he wanted to do by doing two reports. But
All right, and then I'm going to show you what was marked at the prior deposition as Exhibit 1, which is LVO 178. And this is the supplemental report written by Officer Tackard. We'll take a look at the date on that as well. Officer Tackard's report was also written on May 31, 2018, right?
hold on, let me finish looking at the other one. Yeah, this report, he specifically says the decision was made by me to allow him to complete the filing of his complaint and leave. So that was a question you keep asking that's plainly there in black and white.
Well,
he made that decision.
Well, I mean, did you stand over
No.
Anderson's shoulder when he wrote this report, allegedly?
Anderson would tell me to go pound sand in the worst way. That's not him. Him and I go back 35 years.
Did you bring Anderson on to Leon Valley?
Absolutely. I brought everybody on that I hired during that time period.
Yeah. And you made him a lieutenant?
Absolutely. To be honest with you, I didn't sit in on his oral board. The board members of fire chief, other police chiefs, and executives from other departments did that and made that recommendation.
So if you wanted to go after Jack Miller, Anderson would help you do it.
I would never go after Jack Miller for anything besides breaking the law. That's it.
And how successful were you at getting Jack Miller convicted for breaking the law?
It's not my job to get Jack convicted.
Is it your job to bring charges against him?
It's not my job.
All right, I'm showing you Tackard's report here, or purports to be Tackard's report. So based on what you said earlier, since Tackard did not sign Exhibit 1, does that mean he's claiming it's not his report?
I don't know what he's claiming. I don't know that this is his report. I've never seen the report, and I've never been involved in writing this report, so I don't know.
But you see the date on the upper right.
I see there's a date up there, 5/31/2018.
Okay. So now we have two, and Tackard at the time, was he a detective?
No, he was an officer.
Okay, so was it unusual as well or out of the norm for Tackard to be writing this report?
No, if anybody involved could write a report.
Okay, so now that you've seen two people have purportedly written reports on May 31, it's no longer out of the norm?
No, it's still out of the norm. I wouldn't have said if it was in the norm.
All right. I'm going to resume the video J. Miller 78 at the 2-minute 14-second mark.
Please step outside.
Sure. But it's a multi-use building.
Why doesn't this video show the beginning of this incident, where she told him that he couldn't come in with a gun? Why has that been
This is I asked the
removed?
questions here.
I know. I'm just wondering why it's been removed.
So when we just walked by the door, I paused at 2 minutes 19 seconds. Who was the individual holding the door open? Did you see?
I didn't see.
All right, let me back up to. Let me see, where am I backed up?
That's Mike Tacker.
Okay, so I backed up, paused at 2 minutes 16 seconds. So the individual holding the door open is Mike Tacker, right?
Right.
Okay.
Or Tackard, as he says.
Okay.
But it's a multi-use building.
Okay.
Right. So and chapter 711 is very clear.
AG's office, and we'll deal with them, and everything will be fine. You're not gonna go back in there with your gun on, because there's courts being held right now.
Right. I'm not deaf. I heard you the first time.
Okay.
Okay. So here's the deal.
So you heard me the second, third time too, though?
About what?
About what I just said?
I heard
You said you weren't deaf, and you heard me the first time, but I said, did you hear me the second, third time too?
I might not have.
Okay.
Which part are you talking about?
I'm talking about the part that you said you heard me the first time.
Well, I heard you when you said get out with the gun. And you said that again and again, and I'm like, I heard you. That.
Sure be good if he would have said, this is a fake gun.
By the AG's office, have them notified.
But is it Jack Miller's job to tell Wells anything?
No, Jimmy is recognizing it as a weapon, as a gun. He's recognizing it. Otherwise, Jimmy would be saying you can't come in here with a fake gun.
You're speculating.
No, he said you're coming in here with a gun. You can't come in here with a gun, especially during court.
But at this point, Wells knew who Jack Miller was.
You'd have to ask Wells on that, but I would assume he did.
Or you told him later.
No.
You say, hey, that's Jack Miller.
Who said that?
I'm asking. Is that
No,
what
you didn't
did?
ask a question. You made a statement.
So, Wells didn't detain him.
No, he didn't detain him.
He didn't arrest him.
Nope.
He didn't ask if he could see his firearm.
Nope.
He didn't take photos of it.
Nope.
All right, I'm starting the video at 2 minutes 59 seconds.
Yes, and we'll deal with it.
Is there any way for you guys to just look at the law and follow the law on your own without having to get the AG to tell you to follow the law?
I just told you what you need to do, sir. Have a good day.
I need your name and badge number.
Huh?
Before you leave, can I get your name and badge number?
My name's Jim Wells, 548.
So no possibility of just following the law on your own. You gotta have the AG babysit you. Okay. So, official willing to talk to me? He wasn't too nice.
What's the problem?
Okay.
There he shakes his hand.
Practice your First Amendment right to your
I'm not doing that. Okay. But what I'm here to do is these signs. So 30-6, 30-7 signs. I asked the officer if I could talk to somebody. She rung him. They didn't want to hear it. So the 30-6, 30-7 signs, I'm just here to let you guys know that Chapter 711 of the Government Code makes it illegal for you guys to put those signs up. Okay. The Attorney General has on their website. Now I'm just... Wait. I'm not going to stand here and argue the law with you. How do you turn General get a hold of you? But that was my question I had him. How do you get a hold of us? Is it possible that Leon Valley could just...
Pause at 4 minutes 6 seconds. So, Anderson, it's your understanding that Anderson already knew who Jack Miller was as
I didn't
well.
say that. You said that.
Well, do you know?
No, I don't know.
Okay,
I would assume somebody knew who he was, or we wouldn't have been able to get a warrant for his arrest.
Okay, and you just read Anderson's report, right?
Yep.
And you took time to actually go through and read it.
Yeah, I was looking for a specific line that I remembered.
Okay, what was that line?
Where he made the decision.
Okay, and did he say anything about... Okay, and you also read as well where Anderson's purported report says, additionally, the SP1 and his activist group and affiliates are known to cause major confrontations when arrest is imminent and drastically overreact and even resist arrest in order to capture the video and post it on social media platforms.
Yeah, I didn't read that part, but if it's in there, it's in there.
Okay. How... Okay, so the idea was, according to Anderson, was that Jack Miller has an activist group. Where would he get that from?
I would assume the intelligence bulletins. We've already established the fact that there was intel bullets, there were bulletins, there was the PowerPoint that was sent out. So somebody recognized Jack. I can't tell you who recognized him, though. I wasn't there and wasn't involved.
But it's been your theory that there's this coordinated group, right?
That's a fact. That's not a theory. That's a fact.
Okay, so when Anderson's report here mentions group, that's something that you are
No.
sharing as a fact.
No, those are the intel bulletins that came out. It wasn't a fact that I created. It was a fact that Southwest Texas Fusion Center created and that Almas Park sent out about the First Amendment and Second Amendment auditor group.
So we heard in this video Wells and Anderson kind of speak rudely to Jack Miller, saying they weren't going to argue with him and he could take it up with the AG's office.
Objection form.
Was that, did you have any problem with the way they talked to Jack Miller?
No, not really. I mean, if they knew who Jack was, they know the games he plays and the treatment that he treats people. And so, yeah, they should have been more professional, but yeah.
But because it was Jack Miller.
Never said that. I never saw these until way after the incident occurred.
Okay, and he was there to file a complaint. Does he have a First Amendment right to file a complaint?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and
I wouldn't call it a First Amendment right. He was filing a complaint on 30.6, 30.7 signs about that, which he was totally confused about the issue. It was about 46.03. It continues to be confused throughout this point.
So instead of addressing his complaint, you have him arrested in the middle of the night.
No, I didn't say that. You just keep saying stupid stuff like that.
Well,
so
but
no.
you didn't do anything with his complaint.
His complaint didn't get to me for at least till the next day. It has nothing to do with his complaint. It has to do with him breaking the law.
And I'm going to show you page 2 of Exhibit 9. I want to clarify something. You said that Anderson said in this report that he made the decision to do an arrest warrant. Please read that.
No, what I said was, he said that, and I'll read it again because I read it a second ago. Right here in the third line, the decision was made by me to allow him to complete the filing of his complaint and leave. He made that decision to let him leave.
All right, now what I want you to do is read the last sentence there out loud.
He says, so it was determined that an arrest warrant would be obtained for the SP instead of an on-site arrest and risking injuries or possible social media-inspired disturbances while court was in session.
So it says it was determined, right? That there would be an arrest warrant?
Yes.
Okay, so it didn't say Anderson determined it.
No, Anderson made the final decision based on their collective discussions. It was his call because he was in charge of CID.
Okay, and you're in charge of?
The whole department.
Okay.
But I wasn't present.
So Anderson, who clearly knows how to say if he decides something, didn't say he decided to do an arrest warrant.
It was a collective, like Eddie said earlier, it was a collective decision based on the group as they sat down, which they do every time for every case.
Okay.
There's a lot of experience in that group, and they want to make sure they're getting it right.
To follow your lead.
No, you keep saying that, but it's nowhere in there. In any of the reports. If you'd be able to show it in the report, if you could, but you just keep making it up. They keep saying it. It's all good.
What's interesting, you keep talking about Glock and symbols and magazines, but
Those
none
are
of
facts.
that's in the reports
Those
either.
are facts. I can only tell you about the facts, not the fairy tale world.
So we got to believe your facts that are not in the report.
I guarantee you bring them in here and talk to them specifically. If Tackard ever said that it was a Glock based on this, that, and the other, he'll tell you, yeah. Have you deposed him yet? I'll take that as a no.
I asked the questions here.
I know.
All right.
No, but I can ask you a question as well.
No, you can't.
I just did.
Objection, non-responsive.
Yeah, you didn't ask a question. I can be responsive.
All right. I mean, I get. How long do you want to be here today?
I don't care. I'm good. I want to be here till the truth gets told.
All right. I'm restarting the video, or starting the video at 4 minutes 6 seconds.
Look at the law. Just whenever you come out of work, in compliance with the law, and we're entitled to do this because we have to. Unfortunately, we don't have our own courthouse.
It's all about the courthouse.
I get that. I get that. But you want a confrontation, bro? I'm not going to give you. I don't want a confrontation. Have a good day. Don't block the entrance. I don't want.
All right, so it's 4 minutes 22 seconds. Anderson is insinuating or stating that Jack Miller wants a confrontation. Jack Miller is saying, "I don't want a confrontation." Is that what the department believes? Is that Jack Miller was there to start a confrontation?
I think if you watch any video of Jack, he's trying to start a confrontation.
So
absolutely. I can't tell you what the department as a whole believed, but Lieutenant Anderson that believed, obviously, from what it says, that he was trying to start a confrontation.
And you believe Jack Miller was there to start a confrontation?
No, I didn't say that. I said Jack came in and mistakenly thought this was an issue about 30-6 and 30-7 when it was 46.03, places weapons prohibited.
Do you think that Jack Miller went to Leon Valley on May 31, 2018 to start a confrontation?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, every time he does this, it's a confrontation. That's what he wants. So that's how he gets his clicks and likes and money.
So even though Jack Miller says, "I'm not here to start a confrontation," you believe he was?
Based on the facts, yes.
And what facts are those?
Just like I said, if you go pull up anything on his YouTube channel, that's the ones he gets his hits and likes on when there's a confrontation.
Okay.
And that's full of confrontation with city officials.
Okay, so on May 31, 2018, there was obviously some officers thought Jack Miller wanted a confrontation.
The confrontation is not relevant. What's relevant is he went inside with a gun. There's no legal reason why we could arrest him for a confrontation. That's not even part of the elements of the offense.
You're right, there is not a legal reason.
Absolutely. And he wasn't arrested for causing a confrontation. There's nothing in the affidavit about the confrontation.
No, of course there's not.
What's in the affidavit is the facts of the case.
You didn't see the affidavit.
I would tell you that if they wrote that in there, they'd be the biggest idiots in the world. No, it's not. It shouldn't be in there, and please show it to me, and I'll find it if it is.
So the affidavit makes a very interesting point to highlight that Jack Miller is a, quote, auditor that goes around causing confrontations. Why is that relevant to him bringing allegedly a gun into a courthouse?
Yeah, I don't know how it's relevant. I wasn't the one who wrote it. What was relevant was he brought a gun in the courthouse, just like you just said, and that's what he did. That's what's relevant.
Okay, so this had nothing to do with the fact that everyone thought Jack Miller was an auditor.
Nope, nothing to do at all. It has to do with him breaking the law.
And you didn't. And so you or your department, your officers, taking all of Jack Miller's devices and then sending them off to the Secret Service had nothing to do with thinking Jack Miller was an auditor.
No, the elements of the offense, they wanted to see those things. The only way to get is a video, like you're showing me today. The beginning and the end's cut off. And that's the kind of stuff Jack does. He goes and changes the complexity of this like you did today. If you showed me the beginning of the end, I know it's much different than this because I've seen this video. So it's got nothing to do with anything besides him breaking law. That's what he was arrested for. That's what he was charged with.
Okay, so again, all right, you think the video, well, let me back up. You think the video is cut off, but you have no idea.
No, I've seen this video. I've seen it, and there's more before and there's more afterwards.
Okay, so you see how this video is labeled part 1, right?
Absolutely.
So that would imply there's different parts.
Absolutely, but the beginning is not the whole part. The beginning, you see her telling him you can't come in here with a gun.
Okay,
and that's not here in the beginning.
Where is that at?
The video that I've seen has her plainly telling him you cannot come in here with a gun, and it's been cut out of here.
Wait a second. Okay, I'm going to have to go back because I want. There's something very important here in the video. Okay, so keep in mind, Jack Miller. So I'm going back to what is this? Pause that 2 seconds. We went through this. Jack Miller is standing behind a female who is currently getting screened by Officer Rivera, right?
Yes, sir.
So is your testimony that you think there's some magic video out there or some other video out there where Rivera addresses Jack Miller before she addresses this female in the image here?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I've said is she told him that you can't bring a gun in here on one video. Jack had 2 or 3 cameras on him. So this is just one of the angles of Jack Miller's. So I've seen one where he was still at the door and he was being told, you can't come in here with a gun. She told him, you can't come in here with a gun.
So if Jack Miller had a different camera picking up a different angle, you think the dialogue is different?
It starts prior to, is what I'm telling you.
So do you think that Jack Miller went in prior to this time here?
Yeah. No. What I'm saying is, you don't see Jack Miller walking up to the steps of the building. You don't see him walking through the first door on this video. That video exists, or it was cut out. So he didn't just turn the video on right now while he's inside that second door or at that second door, because I've seen video of him talking and her talking to him about, you can't come in here with a gun. So there's another video out there that has more details that shows she was telling him, you can't come in here without a gun. Why would he just stop at that point? He was told and he knew that he couldn't come in here without a gun. You hear him saying, you can't come into a courthouse with a gun.
So there should be a lobby video then of that, right?
The lobby video doesn't have sound, and it's at a long range away from that. But yeah, there should be.
But
Absolutely.
are you gonna? But the lobby video would show Rivera, right, saying, "Stop! Don't go through the double doors."
I didn't say anything like that. I said no.
All right, listen to dialogue again. Notice how Jack Miller is waiting, right? And I want you to tell me when
I've
that
heard
conversation occurs.
It occurred before the video starts. That's what I'm telling you. It occurs before the video starts.
Okay, so your position is that Rivera had a discussion with Jack Miller prior to
Yes.
the video at J. Miller 78.
Correct. I've seen a video that showed her telling him, you cannot come in here with a gun.
Okay. Where did you see that video at?
I don't know if it was. I'm not sure. Somebody showed me a video. I can't recall exactly.
Okay.
Can I ask you what her report says, that she told him you can't come in here with a gun?
I'm showing you what the video says. So
I ask you a question. Can you show me that?
again, sir, you don't ask the questions.
I know.
Okay.
But if we really wanted to get to the truth, we would be able to do that.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to get that from you.
You're going to get the hard truth from me. Absolutely, you are.
Take a it's 4:35. Let's take a 5-minute break. Is the red light on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I should have asked, is everyone ready? All right. It's 4:41 p.m. Go back to that real quick. Just clarification. You mentioned that you obviously watched video that Jack Miller took on May 31, 2018. Do you recall? Was that before or after you wanted the charges refiled?
I don't know when. It was, somebody just showed me, and I didn't want the charges refiled. The DA's office gave us instructions on what to refile.
Okay, but you did write a letter
detailing my part, because the part that they were talking about was had to do with me specifically, and about at what point was it deemed a courtroom or an area central to the court. So that was what I gathered, my part, and the other ones gave to the detective. He gathered the other ones from the individuals.
Okay, but you wrote the letter, and then you said on the post-it note, refile.
It said, I believe I said the DA needs this information to refile or something along those lines.
Okay, so by the time you made that decision or had that discussion, had you seen the GoPro videos?
I don't remember if I had by then. I mean, it was, 2 years later?
Okay. And then...
when was that?
2020.
So yeah, it was 2 years after the incident. I would assume I'd seen them by then, but I can't say for sure.
Just pull it up real quick. Okay. The other thing I wanted to, so there was a clarification based on something you said earlier about whether or not you blame Jack Miller for you getting terminated from Leon Valley. Your prior deposition, you said You said a lot. Wow.
I can tell the city has since served me with notice in the EEOC complaint where they said that it had nothing to do with that. So I can tell you that's their position, which is way after this incident, 3 years later.
Okay, so you said, quote, well, the people that put that forward, those two councilmen that your clients helped get elected and wear body cameras and routinely work with your group to decimate the city of Leon Valley.
Yes.
They've done a good job.
Yes.
Jack is there on a regular basis spewing his venom.
Yes.
And yeah, this is coming from a member. In reality, yeah, you call him a council member, but in reality, he's part of the First Amendment group, and there's body camera video. There's video where your clients are interviewing those two individuals before, during, and after elections and conspiring with them to take me down, which they succeeded in getting me terminated.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
That was your understanding, I guess, back during that deposition.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. The council members kept putting pressure on the
Okay, we should be good.
council members kept putting pressure on the city managers, and they would quit because they didn't agree with it. And finally, they got somebody that would do their bidding, those councilmen. And so those were people that Jack and the little group helped install and work for. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so sitting here today, though, are you blaming Jack Miller for your termination from Leon Valley?
No.
Okay. All right, I'll reserve all further questions.
Chief Salvaggio, I have a couple questions for you.
Yes,
The
sir.
night of May 31st, 2018, there were two purposes. One was to execute an arrest warrant on Jack Miller, correct?
Correct.
One was to execute a search warrant
Correct.
on a certain property, correct?
Correct.
Was a cell phone taken from the property at that time?
I think several cell phones were taken because we didn't know whose was whose.
And this has been previously provided to council. It's Bates 21,340. And Madam Court Reporter, if you could mark this, the next one in order, which may be 8 or 9.
It's 10.
10? Okay, thank you. I'll show you what has been marked as exhibit number 10 to your deposition. And show you these are 3 text messages from Mr. Miller, the plaintiff in this case, Mr. Miller's phone, concerning the gun that he took into the court of Leon Valley on May 31, 2018.
Yes, sir.
Objection form.
Do any of those texts indicate that the gun was not real?
Objection form.
No, the text that he sent to David from Open Carry, Texas. I walked in open carry against the 30-06, 30-07 signs, which he's still confused as the issue. They were very contemptuous but did not offend, made me leave the building. Another one said I walked in open carry against their 30-06 signs, and this one went to CJ, which is CJ Gresham from Open Carry, Texas. I walked in open carry against 30-06 signs, 30-07 signs. They were very contentious but did not offend, made them leave the building, and then just got done with Leon Valley, the Southside Slacker. So he says in 2 of these that he walked in open. He's carrying a weapon against the 30-06.
What time were these?
Objection.
What's the time and date of these texts?
This is on 5/31/2018 at 9:55 and 4 seconds. So both of those top 2 looks like they were sent at the same time, so it's probably a group message. And the other one was at 5:21 on 5/31/2018 at 9:25:07.
And that's the date of the incident in question, correct?
It is.
Thank you. I'll pass the witness.
I'll give this to you.
Mr. Salvaggio, you testified that these text messages on Exhibit 10 came from Jack Miller's phone, right?
Based on the extraction of the phone number right there.
Okay. Did you do the extraction?
No.
Okay. Who did the extraction?
Can't tell you. I don't know.
Okay. Was there a chain of custody on this?
There should have been, absolutely.
Okay. Who took the cell phone from Jack Miller's residence?
You'd have to ask the detectives that were involved in that. That's not mine.
Okay.
I'm not privy to that.
Who? So you don't know who collected the cell phone?
No.
You don't know who logged it in the evidence room?
No, sir.
You don't know who sent it off to another agency?
No, sir.
Do you know if the other agency kept custody of the phone?
I'm sure they did. That's their job. I would assume they did, but again, I wouldn't know.
And
That's not my role.
Okay. You testified earlier that You testified earlier that you had not actually seen any inventory.
No, I'm not.
Okay. So
I testified that based on about them taking phones, based on they had put everything in a box that they were seizing that day and was on the counter, and I saw phones and a laptop in that box. So that's stuff that they were going to take as evidence.
okay. So and when did you actually see for the first time the extraction report at Exhibit 10?
Yesterday in conversation with my attorney.
Okay. So do you know when the extraction reports would have come back?
No, I wouldn't know that.
Okay. So you're just testifying based on what you're reading on Exhibit 10.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You don't actually know if these are accurate or not.
I would assume everything's accurate that they give you and give my attorney. I would hope that it was. The city. I would hope that the city would be giving you facts and actual documents.
Okay. But again, you don't know who actually did the extraction
No.
report?
No.
Okay. All right, I pass the witness.
We'll reserve our questions. Thank you.
And Mr. Fujiro, you want to read and sign them?
Yes, please.
Okay, thank you.
Time is 4:50 p.m.